Well, hello, YouTube. We are a few minutes late, and so far I have no one to chat to. But that's okay. Let's check out a couple of things that that I have been looking at in the statue world this week, and we will see if, as we go along, somebody joins us. If you want to join in, give us a quick message in the chat. I've got the chat room open up on this side. If anyone wants to join in, send me a little message there, and I will flick you an invite. Now, one thing I should check is, one thing I should show you, I've been meaning to show you, is to show you our Australian Collectors Chat Facebook page. Not very much happens there, but it is where I put all of the pictures and topics that that we use for the chat each week. So here it is. If you put in Australian Collectors Chat up the top there, you will find us, come and like us, and then you can get all the all the updates as I post. I usually post them every Thursday sometime for the topics that have, the things that have come up in the previous week, and get ready to go through. And also posting, hello.
Hi, how's it going? Am I too early?
No, just on time, mate. How are you, Mark?
Good, how are you? How's it going? How's everything going? I'm just glad to finally made it properly, like sitting in my chair and just at the beginning, you know what I mean? Because last time I was here, I was like in bed and I was like, yeah, I want to be in bed. Can I hang out, you guys?
Yeah.
And so now at least I'm actually awake and things like that. So
that's great.
Yeah. Hey, this is gonna sound like a stupid question, and so you'll have to forgive me.
I hope.
Okay. But is it like cold now in down under in Australia? Is it like winter down there or something, or no?
Yeah, it's heading into winter now. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
really? So it's like the opposite. Okay. No, because in New York, it's going to be summer, and I don't know the I would, for some reason, like, you forget. Well, for me, and I forget, and so like, the other places have different things. So it's like I'm thinking in my mind that everybody's everybody's in spring and everyone's going to summer, and then I notice I see you got a hat on, and then if you go, okay, well that's a fashion thing, or people, people wear hats, right? And then I see Omar, and he looks kind of cold in one of the videos, and he's talking to people, and he's smoking a cigarette outside, and I'm starting to realize, like, oh wait, I guess it's probably, you should remember when you were a kid in geography that it's or down there or something like that. So that's why I'm asking, because I didn't, I'm stupid and I didn't know.
No, that's okay.
I mean, yeah.
No. We're in autumn now, heading into winter. So yeah, it's been pretty cold this week, at least in my city, down in Hobart. So we've had a little bit of snow, not right down to where we are, but certainly just up on our mountain behind us. It's been covered in snow this week.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you personally, I kind of like, well, I don't like the lack of sunlight in the winter. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the overcast skies.
Yeah.
But I do like the cooler weather sometimes, if only for the fact that I hate it when I live on a top floor of an apartment, and even though I have air conditioning and all, it's still hot up here. And living in Brooklyn, Con Edison, and that's the utility for electricity here. They when it gets really hot, they turn down the voltage so that they don't blow the everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then that's like the air conditioner, you know, goes from like being something thousand BTUs to like 100. You know what I mean? Where
man,
I feel like, oh man, I should put a fan on. You know what I mean? I feel hot. You know what I mean? It's like the AC, the worthless almost. So that's why I was just curious. So like I mean, as a kid, as a kid, when you're a kid, you can go out in the summertime and it doesn't matter how hot it is, you'll love it because you know what I mean? Kids are resilient and humidity is plus, well, I imagine you're off from school, so you know what I mean? You know, but as an adult, sometimes, you know, I like the autumn weather, especially like, you know, fall.
Yeah.
Well, like, you know, the fall, you know, that sort of thing, you know. So, I know I'm just talking about weather.
You know? No, that's all right. I didn't get to Brooklyn, but I was in New York City last summer, which was really nice. Maybe that's why the air conditioner in our hotel room was not working very well, because they'd turned down the power level.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They just because you know, well, I mean, we only had since I've been alive and living in Brooklyn, I think we've only had 2 blackouts in my entire life. But still, like you know, I don't know how many millions of people live in the city, but you know, with everyone using the juice at the same time to you know, turn on the AC, forget about it. It can become, you know, rather hot. That sort of thing. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about this, and I don't know, like in Australia, like if do they ever show like, you know, stereotypes of American, like on commercials, like for American products, and they go like you know, like American, you know what I mean, like whatever we're known for, which hopefully is not all bad things. You know what I mean? No, but because like I was thinking when I was a kid. And I was raised in the 1980s, and so what did, you know, we didn't know. I didn't growing up. Okay, we knew about Men at Work, just because you know the context. We knew about Paul Hogan partially because his comedy show made it even to American airwaves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was kind of like Benny Hill looking, you know, like with the and then, of course, Crocodile Dundee was a huge hit here, too. And then, of course, you know, Mel Gibson, even though he's an American, he's practically an Australian as well, because especially, you know, the early movies, you could really hear the accent. But like in the commercial, they used to have these commercials on TV for Foster's, you know, Foster's. And it was kind of fun. Well, I mean, it's funny only because it's so silly. But now I think to myself, gee, if somebody from Australia, I wonder if they would find it kind of, I don't know, like insulting or something. So I was gonna say they used to be like these commercials, and you hear the Aborigine thing, you hear wow, 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 you know what I mean? That in the background, and then you hear, listen, I don't do a good Australian accent, so forgive me, okay? Then you hear the guy goes, how to speak Australian or something like that, and then they go. They show a guy talking and by television, and he looks like somebody who's in the outback, and somebody goes, "Oi!" and they hit him with something in the head, and then the guy turns the television and he goes, "Remote control." The guy got hit, and then whatever, and then he goes, Foster's for beer, mate. And then that was like the commercial, and I was just like, boy, I can't believe they used to show that they used to show commercials like this all the time, and they were amusing, but just the idea that they're selling this image of like a bunch of people in the middle of, like, they made it look like the bar, I guess, that Crocodile, you know, the Paul Hogan goes. You know, like, and they have a guy that looks like Donk, you know what I mean, like the big tall guy who's like, well, like, you know, he looks like a bruiser, and you know, so I just thought it was funny, like this. Gee, if they make like a jokey commercial about something that's probably could be potentially offensive to the Australian people, because you know, it promotes a sort of stereotype like a rock hitting somebody remote control. I wondered if they do the same thing about Americans for Australian advertising. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I can't think of any like stereotype not advertisements at the moment. They sometimes use they will sometimes use like the American ad for a product, and they will dub Australian voices over the top, but you can always tell. It's all the footage is a little bit different. You can tell that it's
selling soda.
Yeah, whether it's a Coke ad or something like that, and you can just tell that the accent doesn't fit the sort of the movements of the mouth, and you think there's something a bit off about that.
Yeah, villain movies. The old movies.
But I can't think of any like stereotypical American. I mean, there's so much American content on Australian TVs anyway, so most of the shows and everything is American TV. One thing I did notice over there is that you guys have got heaps of ads for what were they? The few times I was watching TV, for insurance and for drugs.
Yeah, that's true.
They were big ones.
Brave new world over here.
Yeah, which we don't have a lot of. David's like we got ads for both of them but they're not as much. Sometimes it was whole ad breaks in a show and it was just insurance, medication. I was like, whoa, that ad break was crazy.
It's funny. And then I love the way, like, at the end of these commercials, they go, may cause your eyes to bleed, your heart to stop. Like, I mean,
yeah.
All these things that are supposed to, like, the antiquate. Hey, why would you want to take this pill if it's going to do all these other things to you? And then at the end, they always show you some peaceful setting, and the woman goes, I'm happy taking this pill, or I'm, you know what I mean? Or, we're together, you know, or you know what I mean? They have to like that sort of thing, you know. So I always find it amusing, you know what I mean? But yeah, you're right, and the insurance ones are even ghastlier because they'll always prey upon fear. So it's like older people, you know, like I mean, they don't say it this way, but it's like, you don't want to lose your home to doctor's bills, do you? You better have insurance.
Yeah.
Or if you still haven't taken care of your whatever, how are you gonna? Oh, this is the best one. The government only pays a certain amount, like $20 when you die to help you get buried. You know what I mean? It's something really ghastly. And then it's like, but if you pay us several $100 a month, we'll make sure you got just enough to pay for the box. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, we'll stick you in the oven ourselves if we have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just keep paying us and sign on the dotted line. And that's what these commercials are like. But you know what? The other big thing is investment. Like banks have a lot of commercials here too. And the bank commercials are kind of funny because they also play upon fear-based, but like subtle fear. It's always like it's like happiness with a smile. It's like the killing you with kindness. So it's like, you know that stock market crash, it made everybody into a terrible recession here. But if you were a TD Bank, you could have cashed your checks on a Sunday, the day before the market crashed. It's something really nasty, like, and you know, I'm exaggerating, but you get the picture. It's like it is really, you know, it is out of control. The advertising, it's fun. Sometimes it's just quaint to go on YouTube and see commercials from like the 60s or the 70s and just see how different, like the 70s, I would say the most depressing or whatever commercial which had a good cause was the American Indian going through all this pollution and then looking into the camera and you see one tear going down his eye, and that was like you know, stop throwing, keep America clean, that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Boy, I would love to see that on TV again compared to, buy these drugs, Soma, Prozac,
Yeah.
we're really gonna, I mean, really, I'm sorry, I'm gonna sound too political, but it's like I had a friend of mine who studied school psychology, and his last part he was doing an internship, and he just said he finished the program, he got his school psychology, and instead of after he got his master's, he just said, "Fuck, excuse my language, but I don't want to do this." And he works for a cable company now, and he's been doing it for like, I don't know, almost 20 years. And he actually makes more money than he would have been doing a school psychologist, and he's happier just driving a van from place to place.
Yeah.
Because he just said, he just said that every little thing, it was like, just give him Ritalin, give him Ritalin, give him Ritalin.
Man.
In these schools, and it's just like, that's terrible stuff.
Yeah.
You have to be those SSRIs, I think that's what they call them, and
yes.
Or that's what they call the group of medications, I mean, kids, it's no wonder the kids get hyper. It's because they put on TV and everything's like all over the place, and then they get cool, and they get bored. I mean, everybody acts up, but when I was a kid, nobody ever said to me, "Mark, you're gonna go on Ritalin." You know what I mean? Nobody
yeah.
Such thing, or if it was such a thing, it wasn't being pushed. But now, it's like, I mean, even I used to work in civil service, and I left, and the one thing I noticed is the drug companies. Okay, it's like they take out, even in the Department of Education, they'll take out the freaking people and buy them dinners, like the principals, and I mean, it's really sick. It's like it's almost like a satire. Anyway,
yeah.
I don't want to bring the group down. I apologize for that.
Oh, that's all right. We've got a new person joining us this week. Rob, how are you, mate? I'm not sure I'm hearing you there.
I see him.
Yeah, I can see him. Just checking his mic. Hello.
Hello.
I think I heard a little grab. Maybe maybe there's some Google. It's possibly not your fault, Rob. It might be Google problems. We'll see if it. We'll see if you come right. Hopefully, I haven't muted you here. No.
I was amazed. I'm sorry. I was just saying, I was amazed you've been collecting for so long, because you look very young. So, like, you know what I mean? So it's like when you told me you were like 10 years collecting, I was like, wow, that's cooler than the person that got me really inspired into collecting,
All right.
Yeah, a friend of mine in England named Kevin, his name is Kevin Jukes, he's Robot Online videos.
Yeah, I used to love his videos.
Me too.
Yeah.
His videos were like among the best, and
yeah,
and I used to watch them religiously, because they were the most professional looking ones, and he had the stuff, and so, like, I became friends with him, and those videos inspired me, and so like he even gave me nudges, because when I first started doing videos, I was doing slideshows that nobody watches, because nobody wants to see a slideshow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but he was like, come on, be brave, and now I really like just making videos. I don't know if other people like them, but I like making them, because
me too.
You get excited, but I don't know. It gives it. I feel like if I don't do at least one a week, I feel like I'm missing something. It's just a nice outlet. You know what I mean? So when you said to me that you had been collecting for like 10 years, I was like, really? The only person I know who's been collecting them longer than me, I know for sure, and I haven't been collecting that long, but Kevin has been collecting since like 2006, 2007, I think. And so I thought to myself that and you've been collecting for like 10 years, so it's like we should all like you know what I mean,
I don't know about that.
You know what I mean, like, because it's like you're the guru of the collectors world, because you've been doing it a long time, so you know your stuff.
Look, I wish I had some more of the money that I have now. Back 10 years ago, I was very didn't have very much money at all. So, but the first thing I got, the first thing that I've still got in the collection now is the Ash premium format, the Army of Darkness one. And then that started off the current collection. I had 1/6 stuff before that. That was all Sideshow. That was Hot Toys were just starting to become big. And I sold all the 1/6. I had all the 1/6 horror figures. So it was Jason Voorhees figures and Freddy figures and Army of Darkness, and bought new quarter scale premium formats, and that's where it all is now. Yeah, except from a few life size now, which are very nice.
Those things are beautiful. You got.
Yeah, that one last week was a real treat being able to get that, because I wasn't sure I was ever going to be able to get him.
Yeah,
he goes for. They rarely come up for sale in Australia because there's not many here. There's not as many collectors here, but so they're always in the States or sometimes in Europe. I don't like to buy from. Nothing against any European people or European collectors, but it's always good to have a first language to communicate with, so there's no confusion, things like that. It's a risk perhaps going that way. So, and I've bought plenty of stuff from the States, but coming from the States with the price that he gets, if he's got boxes and everything, that bust can be, $2,500, and then you're talking about taxes once he comes here and shipping, and that sends him up to maybe 3,000, and he's just too much for me in my position to spend that. So I was pretty lucky. One came up locally, and he was happy to do free shipping, and I was very pleased.
You got very lucky. But you know, sometimes it's like you put your mind on something, and or like some people say, like, write something down, and I know it sounds crazy, but it really does work. If you write something down like a goal, it almost like you're already working toward it the minute you put it down on paper, because it's you've just turned a thought into something physical. You've just managed. You started something, and sometimes. It's like your brain does things that the brain is the greatest computer in the world. It's constantly the things that the brain can do. There is no supercomputer on the planet that could do the things that we do naturally. That the brain, and I'm just without going off into a tangent, which I have a habit of doing sometimes.
That's okay.
It's like. Sometimes when you keep your mind on something or that you want something, it definitely comes to you. You know what I mean? Somehow it just, it's like following. It's like Joseph Campbell used to say, following your bliss. It's almost like an invisible hand came and it's like, Charlie wants this. So he brings it to you, and then the opportunity finally comes, and it's like a dream, and then you got it. And that is a beautiful lifelike. I mean, that does look like it looks so much like him that it looks like it could have been a prop, and it definitely looks like it could have been a prop in the second and first film. Was where it's from, but it looks because even though they had CGI back then, obviously it wasn't like Jurassic Park. Not even Jurassic Park it still looks great, but now we're so spoiled by it that it's so fun to see Mad Max and see all practical stunts mostly.
That's I think you're exactly right. That is what I'm really looking forward to about Mad Max. That'll be this. I'm going this Saturday, and I'm really looking forward to it. And when we saw the trailer last year, the footage. I mean, the trailer earlier this year, and last year, we got to see that George Miller was at. I'm going to make people jealous, but when we were in Hall H last year at Comic-Con, this was they brought down these huge. George Miller was there. He introduced the Mad Max footage. They brought down these 2 huge screens that you had to turn you couldn't look at the whole thing at the once. You had to turn your head around the hall like this to see this footage that he had, and it was those crazy car and truck chases and that huge cyclone thing and cars just cartwheeling off into it, and I was just like, whoa, this movie is going to be incredible when we saw that. And I think the reviews that I've seen so far looks like it's really, really, really delivered. Yeah.
Yeah, it supposedly got the highest Rotten Tomatoes score in history. Like, it's got almost like a perfect 10. It's every critic that's seen it loves it so far. That I haven't seen any at this point. If it gets less than if 10 stars is the absolute perfection, if not seen one reviewer give it less than a 9 point. Nobody's ever gone below 9. So it's always between 10 to 9. I haven't really seen in other words, this is like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes of this year in terms of a really good sci-fi film. But this is even bigger than that because those movies were a worldwide phenomenon. I mean, when I saw The Road Warrior as a kid, I was just I remember seeing the pictures from the movie in Starlog. That was like a sci-fi magazine that they sold here in the States. And I was into buying sci-fi and famous monsters and stuff because I like that stuff. And I remember looking in the magazine and not really thinking much of it because it just looked, I was really, Star Wars was my thing. And so seeing this and seeing the football things and the Mohawk, oh, this looks like some, what I wouldn't use the word B movie when I was a kid, but my attitude would be like, oh, this is like something that I saw that Roger Corman made, even though I didn't even know who Roger Corman was. But then when my cousins got a VCR before we did, so I was at their house and they rented out The Road Warrior, and we sit down watching it, and it was just the beginning, like after the intro, and just that initial chase, and just for what got me, believe it or not, it was the sound of the pursuit special after it stops, then going back, you hear that, and then you see the wheel stop, and then the door opens and he gets out, and I was like, wow, that's sort of like the car is almost like a spaceship to me, the way they made it, because it's like it just gave so much presence, and then I was hooked. That was it. You know what I mean? And then I grew up, and then basically you catch up on Mad Max, the first one, because it was on when they would show them. A lot of times they would show them back to back, like a double feature, which is cool because the movies, were only 2 years apart, so it's like they match up pretty well. So that's how I got into it. The Road Warrior was the movie that broke Mad Max in America, that made it huge. Because you know what I mean? Because I think in the history of Australia, isn't Mad Max like one of the first truly widescreen films that was done there? Or
I think the first one was very big locally. I was pretty little when it first came out, so I wouldn't remember it being in the theaters or anything. But I saw it on TV later. But the first one, it was a big deal, that film. but the second one is the one that really, the same sort of thing that really took it. People were very proud of those films, I guess, being Australian, because it's not often that Australian films, we don't make many films like that, and Hollywood does all those things. So if you're someone who wants to do that, generally that's where you go. If you're an Australian person who wants to do that, you go over there and do it. So it was a big deal, those two films, definitely, yeah. And The Road Warrior is amazing. I just rewatched it recently to get warmed up for the new one. So
I watched all three.
Yeah, very excited for the new one.
I mean, some people don't like the third one, but they don't know the facts. Like, because Byron Kennedy, Kennedy Miller, Byron Kennedy, he produced, he was doing location scouting, and I'm not sure what the facts are exactly, but he passed away. Let's just put it that way. So Miller lost his interest in directing it, so they got George Ogilvy to come in and direct. But Miller agreed to do all the action scenes. He'll direct the action scenes, but he was still very grief-stricken over the loss of Byron Kennedy. And so that's why it's directed by two different people, and also why, I like the third one. I still like The Road Warrior the best, but I like the third one. And really, if you think about it, it's sort of like, they even make allusions to it, but it's kind of like if you've watched, Fistful of Dollars for a Few Dollars More and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly as a trilogy, the Man with No Name trilogy. Even in that movie, even in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, not the Mel Gibson character, the Clint Eastwood character, he does show a lot more humanity and sympathy or empathy than he does in the first two. Like when there's a Union soldier dying or a Confederate soldier dying, he gives them water, or he gives them a cigarette, and you see, or he even helps to blow up the bridge so that they can just stop the standoff. There's these little vignettes in between, and it brings the more humanity to the character. And in the Mad Max is kind of a Western, like in some ways, and the third one kind of bringing more humanity back to Max, because he had suppressed all of that, and by the end of the film he does an act of, not that he has to, I never felt that he didn't, I don't think he was in need of redemption, because what happened to him was horrible, but I think that the fact that he does because he's always doing heroic acts, but the selfless act that would practically a suicide thing, so that the other people can escape in the plane, it brings him almost full circle, because he gets his humanity back in a sense, to the point where Tina Turner going, he's just a raggedy man, you know what I mean? And she lets him go because she sees in him, because she's like, she's resourceful. She'll rebuild Bartertown again. You know what I mean? So, at the what's the last scene we see? Just like one of those old westerns, Max going off after the kids are talking in the ruins of Sydney. Max going off into the sunset, kind of like the last scene of the original Indiana Jones trilogy before they made the fourth one, was them to the sunset. So. They even call him the Mountain No Name in that movie at one point when they do the So when I was in college, I was particularly interested in both sci-fi films and Western films, and I just remember they played a lot on television, Mad Max, and the third one, and that's when I started to really make the connection. Like, this is really just like Star Wars is a bit of a Western. This is kind of a Western too, you know what I mean? And so that's where I that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah,
I'll tell you, it's kind of a downer of a movie, but it's an Australian film that I saw last year that I did like, and the commercials actually didn't make it look like it was going to be another Mad Max, but unfortunately, it's in a similar genre where you will compare it, but it's nothing like Mad Max. But it is a good movie. Did you see The Rover with Guy Pearce?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but I had heard that it was good.
Yes, it's a good film. I mean, it's nothing like Mad Max. It is not an action picture. It's more of a drama. But
oh yeah, no, I did see this one. Yes.
Yeah, he gets.
Yeah, and it had Robert Pattinson as well. Yeah, I did see this. Yeah.
I thought it was a good movie, but I mean, obviously, it's a bit of a downer. But at the same time, I mean, the big payoff, without giving away spoilers, at the end, and how it all works out is just like the whole movie. And what I also liked is that he stuck to character. I mean, remember the vet that helps him and how he reacts later on towards her. It's like, and then you never see her again, so there's no reconciliation or anything like that. It's a hardcore movie, and I forget the name of the Edgerton. I think his last name is the guy who played young Ben Lars, or was it young Uncle? Was it not Uncle Ben? Was it Uncle Ben in Star Wars? I forget. But the guy who played Uncle Owen, the guy who played young Uncle Owen in the Star Wars prequel.
Oh yes.
Yeah, came up with part of. I think he either co-wrote the original script or he came up with the story. I think he has story credit. So like that's like an interesting collaboration.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, he's another Australian actor. Yeah.
Yeah. I've spoken to some professional actors, and I gotta say, everybody, like one time I've spoken to Michael Fassbender once, and
cool.
He even he even said to me, like, hey, when I asked him, well, what is your hero? And he's like, Guy Pearce, and Guy Pearce is Australian.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's like Pearce, and Guy Pearce he was in other movies here before, like movies that you could see him in. But he became famous here. What really broke him into a movie star type. Well, he's like movie star actor here, like Brad Pitt's a movie star. It doesn't mean he can't act or anything like that. But like other people are movie stars but they always play the same character. Whereas a movie star and an actor, and the movie that really broke him though was L.A. Confidential.
Yes.
Through 100, like, you know what I mean, with Russell Crowe, and also the thing, and actually, I think that movie helped bring them both into the mainstream, because prior to L.A. Confidential, Pearce was known for To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, where he's playing a crossdresser, and the other guy plays a total sociopath. I don't know if he's a sociopath, but a scary monster in Romper Stomper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I remember those. Yep.
Those movies, but that particular movie, LA Confidential, made both of those guys movie stars. And but the only thing that came off kind of bad sometimes in Russell Crowe's image, I think, like when they're in the Oscars, it was the Oscars where he got the best actor for Gladiator, and I really thought he deserved it earlier for when he played the guy who did the what was it, the where he blew the whistle on cigarettes.
With Al
Pacino,
Yes, I remember that one.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So Gladiator. So Steve Martin is making jokes, right? And every time they show Russell Crowe and he's making a joke to try and like nudge Russell Crowe just always looks kind of like he's not enjoying it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then he does a joke with Tom Hanks, and he goes, and I'm just going to make this up now. I don't remember what the joke was. It was like, and people stalking me, Tom Hanks. And then they cut the Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks goes like this. He plays along like he's embarrassed, and that's really funny because like that. That's like the like so Tom Hanks. I'm just saying it's a shame that he didn't play more into the, you know what I mean? Like, they weren't making fun of him. He came off really, like, maybe, I mean, who knows? We can't put ourselves into his shoes because, you know, for all I know, that might have been the first time he'd ever been in this situation. Well, no, he's been nominated, but still, you know what I mean? It's like Ridley Scott, when Gladiator did win, he was like, I don't understand how a movie can win Best Picture, but the director doesn't get the Oscar, and he's got kind of a point there, because I mean, producers get it, but but without the director, you wouldn't really have a Best Picture. So, like, really, if you think about it, the director should kind of be included in that, and you know, well, you know, Scott's never been one to mince words. You know, if you've ever seen him in interviews or whatever, he's pretty funny sometimes. But you know, but anyway, I as you can see, I went off into several tangents. One thing that I really love about George Miller is he's got a great imagination, but he's also very funny. And I have a friend of mine, his brother. Actually, I wrote this already, so you probably already know this. His brother went to medical school, and at the medical school graduation, George Miller, because George Miller is a doctor, or he has a degree in medicine, he gave the speech. And at the speech in New York, he told everybody, literally, he told all the doctors, get out of medicine, go do something creative, and have fun, you know, and follow your dreams. And you know, and it was almost like everyone was like really surprised, because, you know, people expected him, because he's a doctor, but he was like, I have no regrets becoming a filmmaker. And it was just like, I wish I was there to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah, you know, just to see that. But I have a tremendous respect for him, because he hasn't really even directed as many feature films as you would think, but
no.
Those Mad Max films, like, I mean, where else can you get a movie where you have a supporting character called Pig Killer, you know? or you know, or the Gyro Man, or the Gyro Cut Chopper, or the Feral Kid, like all these names, like
Feral Kid, yeah.
You never had that. Like, usually it's Joe Schmo, but here it's Feral Kid. And
Humongous.
You know what I mean? And it's the same thing again, like. The villain, I love Hugh Keith Burns, and it's like the Immortan Joe, and I just and Imperata Furiosa, and it's like all these names, and it's just like what tremendous imagination to sell that to people, and we eat it up, because it really is like, I don't know anything else that's like that. That's like George Miller's work. I mean, it's truly a subgenre that he has defined. You know, that's how I see it. I mean, pretty much, you can't imagine how many like post-apocalyptic crap movies they made, like movies with Patrick Swayze as Mad Max. It's literally like these movies are like, you know, kids. I got like in grammar school kids coming up to me and go, "You think this movie takes place in the same world as Mad Max, but it's supposed to be America?" And I'd be like, "No, I don't think so. I just think they're, you know." I mean, in my mind, I'm just thinking, they're just trying to do, you know, it's like anything else. You know, Star Wars comes out, everybody wants to make a space movie. It's huge, and everybody's doing these post-apocalyptic films. You know, or even the fantasy movies, like, you know, Excalibur, huge, great movie, right? And Conan the Barbarian, and then you got the Sword and Sorcerer, which is a cute B movie. For its own thing, but like, if you've ever seen The Sword and the Sorcerer, it's got swords that like shoot swords out at you, literally, like a person takes out a sword, it's got two blades, and one out, and you know, it's. I mean, the best part of it is probably Richard Lynch as the villainous king. You know, he did a lot of B movies and stuff like that. You know, but it was really like that. You know, that's when you start to get to that level. It's like, no, I don't think the Sword and the Sorcerer has anything to do with Middle Earth, or you know, because the Ralph Bakshi cartoon around that time, or Excalibur or anything else. I just think it's the Sword and the Sorcerer. Yeah. And then they promise you, stay tuned for the next adventure of Talon. You know what I mean? Yeah, just like I was so in tune to go see the next adventure of Trash after seeing Bronx 1990 Warriors. You know what I mean? Yeah. With a guy named Trash. Like literally, Trash is the name of the character. On his deathbed, walking around in a cop suit. You know what I mean? It's just so like funny, you know. But all things considered, though, you know, I mean, I'm a big movie buff, as you could tell. But
yeah, definitely.
But well, mostly genre films. But you know, there's something. I don't really remember what my point was going to be. I'm sorry. No,
That's okay.
But you know, I just think that you know, you could see how a lot of movies, just like Escape from New York, Bronx, 1990, Warriors, you know what I mean? You know, The Adventures of Town, The Adventures of Trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these movies, these great movies, spin off these poor imitators. Although once in a while you'll get a poor imitator, like you ever see Battle Beyond the Stars? It's a Roger Corman film, and it was by John Sayles. And it's basically Roger Corman's like, hey guys, make me a cheap Star Wars, and make it after a Western. So they took the Magnificent Seven in space. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, it's got and it's actually a pretty good movie because the screenwriter of it was John Sayles, who would go on to direct, you know, lots of dramas. But I mean, and one really cool, like his first film was called a movie called The Brother from Another Planet, which is a cool independent film if you have a chance to see it, from like the early 80s. But so once in a while you get a good knockoff that's entertaining and actually a good film in its own right, and then you get a lot of knockoffs that are just like, you know, like generic. You know, you have Coke, Pepsi, and generic soda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Brand X. You know, like literally it just says cola on it and nothing else. You know what I mean? Or whatnot. You know what I mean? When you buy something.
Yeah.
You know.
I can remember the video shop being full of like RoboCop knockoffs. After that came out, it was such a big movie. That one poster of him, the cover of the VHS, and it is forever burned into my brain because I just thought it was the most awesome thing I had ever seen. And I was always confused why he wasn't, why he didn't look red in the film, because he looks so red on this VHS, but I guess he's meant to be stepping out with an explosion happening nearby.
Yeah, the gas station probably.
Yeah. Oh man, look at that VHS cover and all this stuff on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there being so many robot police or something like that would be coming out after it.
Oh, absolutely. It's just like you ever watch Red Letter Media? And they have these two shows on YouTube. One of them is called Best of the Worst, and they showed like a cheap knockoff, and it was called The Incredible Bulk, and it was like, I'm not joking with you, and it was like this really badly CGI bulky thing that looks like a child. Not a child could have done it better. Like a 3-year-old child with crayons could have made a better creation than what they did, and that's a perfect. If you look for Best of the Worst,
okay,
and you'll be the movies, like, you know, they just take 3 really bad movies and they look for, well, what's the best of the worst, and then the worst of the worst they destroy at the end. They demolition it, literally, like different creative ways of blowing up a VHS tape. But but yeah, The Incredible Bulk. That's what I tell you. You know what I mean? But RoboCop, that was huge. That poster that you showed me was actually the poster here in the States, and I saw the movie, and I just remember just that movie, because in the commercials it looked like a B movie, because, you know, it's like the Terminator looked like a B movie too when it first came out.
Yeah.
all of a sudden, when Clarence Boddicker, best villain in the entire series, turns to the guy in the beginning and goes, "You wanna fly, Bobby?" And they throw him on top of the cop car that's chasing him, and you just see this guy in the back, like on the windshield, and then I was just like, wow, like the movie was so cool because it was sort of a future world, but not, you know what I mean? It was different. Plus the jokes in between were great, like
so funny. Yeah,
it was all Edward Newmar, like he co-wrote, he adopted the Starship Troopers as well as doing
Yeah,
and he also I think he was one of the writers on Total Recall besides Dan O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett. And the satirical stuff, he's really good at that. And you see that in Starship Troopers, the satire with
with the
commercials.
Yeah. Would you like to know more?
Do your part. They should like kids crushing roaches and teachers laughing. It's always like something really, really like exaggerated and funny. But he's great at that. And so it's like, in RoboCop, I always laugh at the scene where they show the president and the whatever aboard the International Space Station suffered a loss of gravity when and they show you some stock footage of people floating around, and there's like the president like basically lost control and the gravity went out, and that sort of thing. Or today one of the Star Wars satellites accidentally
fired or something. Yeah.
It's like all these like great things. Or the dinosaur commercial where you see that, and then they got these giant cars that like I don't know much about cars, but I think the joke was supposed to be that the car is like a super gas guzzler or something like that, like something completely impractical.
I was just watching RoboCop 2. I'm working on my computer here, and I have a second screen. I put Netflix on the second screen, and I do work on the computer here. And I've got the other day it was RoboCop 2. Now it's not the best, but there was still some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
And there was a great joke, one of those, it starts off with like a news report, and it's something like an oil spill or something like that. And one of the news anchors is like, environmentalists were extremely upset and condemned the action. And then it cuts to the other anchor, and he's like, well, don't they always, Janet? And that was it.
Well, how about the scene of RoboCop where they shut to this one guy who's obviously like totally like, he's like, well, I don't know. Like that guy, you know what I mean?
I remember that dude, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I also like RoboCop 2 at the end, where I forget the big boss played by Dan O'Hurley. He turns to the other girl and he goes, "Get our best spin doctors on this right now," or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like always like that whole thing, OCP. I wish the third one was as good as the first two. The second, you know what I didn't like about the second one? It didn't have the music of the first one. Like the music of the first one was like, it did a lot for it. It was like that. It added to, because RoboCop was like a comic book movie when you think about it. Like it was like a superhero origin story of sorts. That's how I thought of it back then.
Yeah.
Another good action picture that came out the same year, but it's not nearly as big as it's not big like RoboCop at all. But it's just great wall-to-wall action with a little bit of sci-fi in it. Have you ever seen The Hidden?
No.
Kyle MacLachlan and Michael Nouri.
I haven't seen it.
It's like Kyle MacLachlan is an alien inside a human's body trying to get another alien that's hidden within another human's body.
Okay.
And it literally, the alien is a criminal. But this is not like Men in Black criminal. Like this is like hardcore, like violence. I mean, this movie is so over the top with its own chases and violence that, at least for the time, that I actually yelled out in the theater, like, "Holy shit!" I can't, you know what I mean? Like it's just like it's a low budget flick, but it came out around the same. It came out like in 1987 or 1988. It's worth.
Okay.
On Netflix. Like I wouldn't buy it, but it's called The Hidden. And
The Hidden. Okay. I'll have to get it. That was
Twin Peaks.
RoboCop was done by.
Orion.
Was that Rob Bottin?
No, well, he did. Directing or
the suit and the design.
Oh, I'm not sure. I know Phil Tippett did the stop motion stuff. You know, the edge going on. And obviously Paul Verhoeven directed it. I wish Paul Verhoeven. It seems like he I mean, he has made movies since the Invisible Man movie he made was a Hollow Man. But I just felt like the guy had so much more to offer because, like, you just know, like, if he made a movie now, outside of George Miller, he'd probably make a really kick-ass, like, balls to the wall, rated R, movie that would just be like, even if it's not a great movie, it would still probably be better than 90% of the movies that are made in California or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's a lot of bad movies that get made here, But it's interesting. The second, according to statistics, I think the second most, I think the outside of the United States, and I might be wrong about this, the second biggest film industry is in India.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And I've never seen an Indian film like made in India, and that's all India. Made, produced, directed in India. But I heard that, like, even in their tragic movies where people die, they stop for like a song. Like, they're all musicals.
Right.
I've heard that. I don't know how true it is, but like I just keep imagining like the world's gonna end. Okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. They start dancing or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, what was a good movie? I forgot. These Last Hours. Did you see that? It was an apocalyptic and like another one of those things.
Yeah, I did see that one. These Final Hours. That was
Final Hours. Yeah.
Yeah, I did watch that.
That movie I felt was very good in terms of they got a lot of mileage out of the lead actor. The guy who plays, who leaves his girl, and goes the whole. I mean, that's a sad story too. Obviously, it doesn't have a happy ending. But believe me, if you really want, like, I call them movies to like slit your wrists too. Far worse. Melancholy is probably one of the most depressed. It's a good movie, but it's one of the most depressing movies because Lars von Trier has got manic depression, so he just literally captured. This is depression on screen for you all, because I know you just wanted to see it. I know you were all dying to see it. So
yeah,
there it is. And but that other one, These Last Days. I mean, at least it had some bits of some mild humor in between it. Like, well, at least when he gets to the party. But I thought
the party was out of control.
Yeah. But his friend was like like the whole, you know what I mean? The friend comes like, "Come, we could survive in here," and he's like, "No, it's not gonna work." No, but I really but I thought they got a lot of great mileage out of that actor. Like, that guy really sold the movie, so that's why I was like thinking it, because it opened here only recently, and I remember I reviewed it for an online magazine, and I was just and I thought to myself, this was for what it was in that genre. It was very good, and I just felt that the main reason why it was good, while it was well directed, was also like it's like casting Mel Gibson in Mad Max. Not to say that this is the Mel Gibson, but that guy really sold the movie. Like, that guy I really thought was a good anchor. I mean, the casting was good, but just showed sometimes, like, if you've ever, like, I don't know when you went to college or whatnot, if you studied if you ever took any film classes or writing classes or whatnot, but one thing I've learned is sometimes the casting of a movie, because you have in your mind how the dialogue is going to sound, but then, like, when you're in a workshop class, people read stuff out loud, and non-professional people read things out loud, and you the first time you hear it, you say, "Oh my God, this doesn't sound like anything I imagined it was supposed to sound like." And what I'm trying to say basically is, you'd be surprised how much an actor and his interpretation and how he delivers a line really can make a movie. It's just like, think about Saw. That one little, I forgot his name, that actor. that one little cameo, that one little surprise at the end, and then that they just they drove that franchise into the ground. You know what I mean? Just with cameos from Jigsaw, and that actor was on one of these radio shows, and they gave him like different things to read, and they just made up stuff on the spot. And every single piece of paper he read, he made it sound good. You know what I mean? Because it was just to show you that sometimes people like, you know, people go, oh, acting, that's just like bullshitting, and what, you know, really people will be like that. You'd be surprised. Are real good actors, or just they can really make. They can sometimes there are some actors that can truly turn a turd into a diamond. You know, right? That's some can. Others, you know, can't. You know, nobody does what do they call them? Not metallurgy. What do they call that? One of those people that they were always trying to turn something into gold.
Oh, like is that like alchemy?
Alchemy. Yeah. They're actors, not alchemists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From it is something. It is a learn. It is a kind of something you learn as you go on. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I heard that the reason why there is no Mad Max premium format or any sort of Mad Max statue that's officially licensed is that Mel Gibson has never given away the rights to use his likeness legally. Now,
that's right.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I know that there was a Mad Max action figure long ago, like literally a little toy Road Warrior figure. But then again, they could probably use the picture on the box, but you know, especially in the early days, Star Wars dolls, you know, Luke Skywalker didn't look anything like Mark Hamill. You know what I mean?
No.
So, you know,
probably right. They probably just used a publicity picture for the film and then the little Road Warrior figure inside.
Yeah, pretty much like the, you know, this is a little thing. So unfortunately, we may never get that. Although maybe we'll get the new film. They'll do something based with on Tom Hardy, but I don't know how well the 6 scale Snake Plissken went, but after seeing that bust that's like $3,000 in England, and it's custom to get that done. And 3,000 is like starters, by the way. Like you have to really, like you know what I mean. Like you're talking waiting years.
Yeah.
When you see Snake and all that, I mean, it just makes you wish that they would do an Escape from New York premium format figure.
I would. That's definitely one that I would love to see. I'll see if I can get. If there's a picture of him to show people if they're when they're viewing. There it is.
Isn't that amazing?
It really is nice, and you can. Yeah, I mean, you're getting custom made jackets. You know, custom fit shirt underneath, hair, stubble. It looks fantastic.
It does. That's about like there's a 4-year waiting list for that. I mean, if you can get the guy to do it for you, because it's just one guy that makes those. Yeah,
right. Okay.
I spoke to him. I had to find out how much is that. You know what I mean? And it's. I mean that I showed it to my brother. My brother goes, "Oh my God, that looks like it's a sex doll," or something like that. Like they think when when people like stores they make like life casts of them, and they call them, I forget what they call them, but it looks like some sort of a mannequin. It's like, because it looks freaky, and I said, no, trust me, I bet you that, because I've seen like Kevin has. You've seen American Woman from London. I forgot the name of the actor, but not the hero. Not that there is a hero, but not the protagonist, but his best friend who gets killed in the beginning, and he keeps coming back as a ghost. Kevin has this life-size bust of that guy when he's still kind of ripe, and you know.
Oh yeah.
With the gut, and that's a great looking piece, and I would plate that. I would imagine that the Snake Plissken would look as good as as the victim in American Werewolf in London.
Oh, does he? And he's got a Road Warrior bust, this guy.
Yeah, but it doesn't look as good as the Snake. Like, to me, it looks like he's got like too much of a Frankenstein forehead, a little bit, the way they have it. It doesn't look exactly like Mel Gibson to me.
Yeah,
but then,
yeah.
But you know what though? But then again, I mean, I don't have a picture of what he looked like back then. Number one, so it might be more accurate because it's hard to. It's Mel Gibson looks like a totally different guy now than he did when he was like I don't know, The Bounty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like totally different now. It's like but I like that. I like the bust, but it doesn't look enough like him. Like if I was gonna spend that kind of coin, if I had it, I would go for a for Snake. Right now, I asked him what he's working on. He's working on something. I don't know which movie it is or whatever, but he's working on a bust of Charlize Theron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now that's a sex doll.
Oh, Rob is back. I wonder if we can hear him now. Hello, Rob. Oh, is he not coming through? Let me just check. I don't seem to be able to hear him, unfortunately. Let me add him and then I'll make sure. Well, let's have maybe Rob will be able to have a look at his mic. I'm sure he's checked it. I reckon it's probably a Google problem. Sometimes inexplicable things happen on Google, so we just end up with audio problems and echo problems. Let's have a look at some pictures. These are things that I've gathered this week from the last week. So we've got, I think, let's go to, this is something I was pretty excited about. I don't know if I'll be getting him, but the Superman Red Sun, I thought I thought they've done this very nicely. I don't know if everyone's read the book. It's a very popular Elseworlds story. So anybody who's followed Superman, over recent years would most likely have read this. I would think when Superman, instead of landing in Kansas, lands in Russia somewhere, and so he literally becomes the man of Stalin.
Yeah.
And I thought they did really well. This is a good use of. I got into a bit of a debate with somebody on Facebook. Somebody saying, "Oh, they think it's lazy. Why didn't they do a new statue?" And I thought my counter argument was, well, maybe this, there isn't that much of a market for him. I mean, it's a very nice looking piece, but he's not. If you put that in front of a non-comics fan, they don't know who that is. They've already got the R&D done for a very nice Superman premium format already. Why not? With a new sculpt. I mean, he's got a new sculpt around his.
Cape is different.
He's got a new head sculpt, yeah, and he's got a new cape, and
even the back is different. Like the way it flows, it's different from the other one.
It is, yeah.
Different.
Yeah, and we've got a different suit, of course, and I think a very cool base as well.
Yeah, I like the base.
And they've done a bit of weathering on it to give it that, Cold War.
Yeah, Cold War, Red Square type of thing.
Yeah, I think they've done quite well. He's even got, I'm noticing now, some steps at the back, like he's stepping up at a lectern to address everyone.
I was just gonna say that, like, I can almost imagine it, like, I mean, I was thinking more like the long lines, like, there's Lenin's tomb, and then there's a thing of Stalin, and then there's Superman, or
yeah,
they call him then, and then there's a Red Sun Wonder Woman too, which is kind of
yeah. They've teased her in the background. We haven't seen her yet, and I think, as far as I know, we are going to get a Batman as well.
Really?
And his look, I really liked Batman's look from Red Sun. That's him from the first panel. You see him in the book. I can't remember the story. I was just looking at the trade the other day. I'll have to go back and reread it. But this is the DC Direct figure from a few years ago now. That's a nice figure.
It is a nice figure, actually. Very nice.
I like how they worked the Batman ears into the this sort of super fuzzy hat.
Sure. Well, because he wouldn't be a billionaire in Russia, not during the communist times. You know what I mean?
No.
So he's like literally like this is really cobbled together from like available materials. If you know, I think it's cool. It looks so. If it wasn't Russia, you would think like this was like a post-apocalyptic Batman or something, just because it's so different looking, and it's got the cape and all that. But it is very cool looking. A statue of that would be very interesting. Like, I wouldn't get it for myself, but just to see it done would be cool. Cause,
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But that's a cool looking figure.
Yeah, I quite like it. I won't be getting it because I just can't warrant the price for him. But it looks very nice, and also because I know if I got Superman, I would have to have the Batman to go with him. They would just look fantastic together. So congratulations to everybody who's going to get him. I think they're going to look very nice together.
Well, that's just it. You can never buy all the cool stuff that you want. So, like, that's like for me, I've said this in the past when ad nauseum probably for some people, but for me, what I do for my budget is, I know a lot of people do flex pay. I've never done that. I'm probably will do it now at some point because a lot of people really think it's a great way to get something that's a very expensive piece in a way that they can afford to.
Yeah.
But usually what I do is I do one definite pre-order a year. Like, I decide, okay, this is what I want. Is this after Comic-Con or whatever? Okay, I want to get this piece. So, like, last year was the Aliens Warrior bust that I definitely wanted. So I pre-ordered that and I put the deposit up because, it's because some people order so many things and then they end up canceling. They lose millions of dollars in cancellations, and I don't want to do that. So then this year I did last year when I pre-ordered it, I did the exclusive Dr. Doom PFF, and I'm thinking the next one I want to go for that I might, even though it's supposed to come out this year, I'm expecting it to come out next year, would probably be Boba Fett, the new one that's coming. That really, to me, looks great. And you know what's interesting about Boba Fett? You know how obviously a lot of statues are, even when they're made from different companies, they kind of tend to use the same type of poses, like hero pose, music pose, and sitting pose, sitting on a throne or whatever. But with Boba Fett, like, I don't know if you could see it here. If you want, I can bring it down. He's always got like different poses. So like this is from Code of Ikea, but it is a cool piece. Very nice for a final statue. And I don't know if it's too close. Oh
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, some people may not like it because I showed this to one friend. He's like, it looks like he's dancing. I was like, no, it doesn't look like he's dancing. Think about it, it looks like he's dancing. Yeah. but at the same time, this is a cool action pose, and I haven't seen anyone try and duplicate this. And usually, and I've seen many Boba Fett statues that have not been duplicated, except for the famous with the gun, just standing behind Vader type of pose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like kind of a bodyguard pose. So sometimes, so you know, he tends to be a character that they really do. That they give him like some interesting poses that are not the norm. That you don't, they're not the generic poses. And I just think the base and everything on that PFF, it's got me sold.
It's that one with him sort of coming down a ramp, isn't he? He's like
Cloud City or something, yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of a Cloud City base. Yeah, I pre-ordered that guy. I don't think I think he's supposed to ship in December, and I don't think he'll ship in December. That'll be sometime next year, I think. Oh, there's Russell.
Hello guys, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
We've got Mark joining us all the way from Brooklyn, and we've got Rob as well. And we're talking about Boba Fett premium format at the moment, but we've been. I've got another. There was another sneak came from. We think some pictures from the factory somewhere putting together the Heath Ledger Joker.
Oh yeah.
Premium format.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he's looking pretty good there. I'm not sure if the paint is work in progress or.
Yeah. But the eyes look pretty good.
The eyes definitely. You're right about that, and the hair. That angle, I like this angle better on it because on the other angle, the first angle, it looked like he was gonna like pucker his lips to give somebody a kiss or something.
Yeah, he does a little bit. He looks a bit friendly.
Yeah, you know, like hey, come here, honey. You know what I mean? But this looks more frightening and stuff. I would hope that they give him maybe one or two, switch outs on the head.
Yeah.
You know,
that one's a little bit out of focus there. There we go.
The eyes look very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I suppose it also depends on the scene that they put him in. You know? So the expression on the face might be okay.
Yeah, I think this is a screen grab from an earlier behind the scenes video from Sideshow, I think. So I guess that's he's not got any paint there, but he's looking good. We're really getting hit with a lot of Batman figures.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's face it. Batman's got the best rogues gallery in DC.
Yeah.
It's like Spider-Man probably has one of the best rogues galleries in Marvel, arguably, or comparable in terms of variety and stuff.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I had the cartoons because, like, when I was a kid, I thought of the Kingpin as because of the cartoons as being a Spider-Man villain, and then when later on I was like, oh no, he's a Daredevil villain. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that because like as a kid you watch these old Saturday morning cartoons or whatever, and they throw everybody, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm just going to walk.
I had an attempt. We were talking about the Batman Red Sun earlier. I tweeted this pic to Sideshow earlier this week, which I think the hat is still on him. Actually, I think I left it on him for now because it's pretty cold here.
You know,
this is me just putting the hat on him.
You know, I thought that was. I mean, I know you were joking, but at the same time, it doesn't look bad. It actually looks pretty good. like now that you show me the figure, it actually looks pretty good. Like, you know, it fits him.
Yeah.
You know.
Comrade Batman.
Did they reply back to you?
Yeah, I think Susan, the Sideshow social media lady, gave it a retweet. She liked it. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Is she the one that does the videos now?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, she's cute.
Yeah. There's a couple of ladies who do their videos and Twitter. I think there's Susan and another lady who do the Twitter and the Facebook.
And all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they organise a lot of content. Susan got to go to
Star Wars thing.
Star Wars Celebration. Oh my goodness. Very jealous.
Yeah, that would be cool to go to, but man, you want to have money with me just to buy stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would be so, because you know what the thing is though, in a way it's good that I don't have the money for all that, because I used to have so much Star Wars stuff in my collection, and I'm glad I got rid of it to make room for other things, because while I am a Star Wars fan, I have to admit that up until the J.J. Abrams movie coming out, I became bored with Star Wars, and Marvel became more interesting as the movies started to get more interesting, and so like I must have sold like, I don't know, a lot of Gentle Giant, a few premium format Star Wars that weren't that great to begin with, you know what I mean? Like old ones like Luke Skywalker. Yeah, the first one where he's got plastic doll hands and you know it's just, and he's standing on a rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know what? It just doesn't look very. It doesn't. That one is. I bought that. Sometimes you see something and you buy it impulse, and then other times you see something and well, I'm gonna shut up because this guy's showing us a fantastic collection.
Oh, Russell, you're in your
man cave.
In your inner, we're in the inner sanctum.
Yeah.
I'm just highlighting that so that we can all see it. Those shelves are very nice, mate.
Yeah, no, it's a work in progress, but I'm getting there. I've just.
It's always a work in progress.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Sorry?
I'm saying it looks awesome. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it does.
Thanks. Yeah, I've still got quite a bit to do, and I've got some holes to fill. But I got a new one the other day. I finally got the Conan the Sacrifice, right, from ARH.
Okay.
Right,
oh, nice.
And I got to say that piece is freaking huge, right?
Yeah, I'll bet.
I was struggling to find where to put it, right? So I don't know if it might be a bit dark in here, but I don't know if you can see it.
It's a little bit dark. Yeah, we can see that. Yep.
Right. But yeah, no, it's like there's my hand. Can you see it? Right.
Yeah.
It is huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Right? So it's well, there's because that's again. Sorry, I'll see if I can put a light on here.
You got a fantastic collection, Russell.
Yeah, mate. Russell, it's looking great in there, mate.
So, because that's the you see that Fury of the Beast?
Yeah.
He's a big, you know, because he's heavy as all shit, right?
Yep.
And then you got. Do you see it better now? So,
yeah.
It's not big from my angle, but you see that?
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a good piece, right? I got a good one. There was no issues with it at all. Probably took me about an hour to put it together though.
That's cool though. That's cool having to take that long. It's like extra enjoyment.
Yeah, and it comes in 3 massive boxes. Massive.
Oh man.
Right, so get more storage.
Yeah.
We all feel the pain. The boxes.
Yeah.
Well, at the moment, it's costing me $400 a month just for storage.
For storage?
Oh man.
Wow.
Right, because I've got nowhere at home to keep it. Right, so
right.
Yeah, so a storage unit big enough to put all the boxes in. Yeah, $400 a month.
$400? That's nuts. There's loads of room out in Perth. What the fuck are they doing over there?
Well, that's the price of storage, mate. That's what you're paying.
Bloody hell.
For you Americans, that's about 50 cents to you.
I don't know about that. I don't know. $400 is $400. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, with the current exchange rate, it's probably about $280 for you, I think.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, still, it's a lot of money to store all the boxes. But you got to. The problem is, everyone knows you collect these things. It comes with its cost, and that's the storing the boxes, right? So, so I've also been collecting. Everyone poo-poos them, but I don't mind. I've been collecting the art prints, right, from Sideshow. And
I got one last week. I love it.
Yeah, I got the snake.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
How nice is it? Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
Actually, I got it about 3 weeks ago, but I only opened it tonight. Because I took it straight down the framers, right? So
nice.
Just a word of warning. I think you save money, freight, and all that by unframed. But $300 to get it framed.
Yeah.
Right. Because I jumped because I quite like the way Sideshow is presenting them in their frames. So I printed off the photo on the Sideshow website with the frame and took it down and said, "This is how I want it to look." Right. And he said, "Yeah, no worries, and it'll be $300, thanks."
Yeah.
Right. So so I don't know if you do the maths. I don't know. It probably works out the same, to be honest.
It probably does to get the framed version. I don't know. I just I've got a few prints. I've just left them all in the tubes at the moment, and it's just sort of like one day I'll frame them.
Yeah, because I've got the well, you can probably see it in the background there, but up in the corner I've got Scar.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I bought that Scar print that was on the Sideshow a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
So that arrived a couple of weeks ago. So I'll see how this framer goes with this one, and then I'll go and get that one framed, and you can go up the top there behind the statue.
Yeah.
Right.
That'll look nice.
Yeah. So I've got the all the Call of the Dead ones.
Nice.
So they're all in storage at the moment. They're all in the cupboard at the moment. So once all those statues start turning up, I'll start getting them framed.
Yeah, that's good. You've got some nice. Is that the life-size Frankenstein?
It's a one-to-one bust. Yeah. Right. I had XM Studios make that. Right. That was a commission, that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's a one of a kind.
Oh, yeah. Give us a look.
So, can you see it?
Yeah.
Right. When I was growing up as a kid, Boris Karloff and Frankenstein was probably my all-time favourite movie. And I was over in Singapore on holiday.
Hey, what's up? Hello, Helmy. We are looking at Russell's custom Frankenstein bust.
Damn, that looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I had XM. So I was over in Singapore on holiday. So I went in and had a chat with the boys, the brothers, right? Yeah. And while I was there, I said to them, I've always wanted a Frankenstein bust, and he said, "Oh, no worries," and he designed something for me, and then came back and says, "How's this?" And I got it about 6 months later.
Oh wow!
But is it life size, Russell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Is it? Can I just ask? Because I want to do like customs and stuff. Is it more than one or less than 1K?
What price?
Yeah.
Yeah. He charged me $7.99 Singapore.
Oh, dude, that's a steal.
That's a nice price.
Yeah, for life size, that quality, absolutely.
Yeah. So I was pretty. That included the freight. That included the shipping.
Yeah. Wow.
I've got to say the the packaging was not quite up to par. At least I could read. At least I could read the newspaper from Singapore.
That's cool.
So, but other than that, it was fine, right? Yeah. And when I opened it up, I was very happy.
Yo, Russell, I saw. I'm looking at your collection. It looks really good, man.
Thanks, man.
Are those Bestas that you use for your storage of the statues?
Yes, they're the double ones.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They look great.
I run my own IT business, so it's actually been ramping up as late. I had about 3 more because my collection's in. This is my garage, right? And so my business has been ramping up. So I had 3 more Bestas in here. So I had to take them all down over the weekend, and I built a workshop in here to do computer testing and all. I'm now getting into setting up phone systems and all this type of stuff to run on our NBN network that we're getting in Australia. So
nice.
It's a huge market in Australia for cheap telephony, especially now on the NBN. It just makes it a very viable product.
Cool.
So that's why I haven't. That's because I've missed quite a few weeks of chat because I've just been too busy.
So this is not even your whole collection. This is just a small sample of because you put up all the other Bestas someplace else. So like,
all those ones went back in the box and back into storage. Unfortunately, I may either keep them or sell them. I've sold a few of late. I sold my Wolf Predator, and what was the other one? I sold my Cinema Cat. Darth Vader, sold that, and there was one other I sold. A couple of the Mythos pieces. I sold the Gamorrean Guard and Obi-Wan.
Oh, well, that Obi-Wan's is a beauty. That's my favorite Obi-Wan statue. I don't think anyone's gonna make one as nice as that.
No, I'm sort of. If I really thought about it, I'd probably regret selling it, but. Hey, it's...
I don't mean like that. I'm sorry. I mean it more. I'm just talking like personally. Believe me, I'm never gonna get it. You know what I mean? I
don't know what you mean. I felt that before you said that. It's just that sometimes you think, I'll sell it, and afterwards you think, maybe I shouldn't have. But anyway, it's just one of those things.
Yeah. Well, it's like it could be worse though. I mean, sometimes it's like. You ever go to the store and you see something and you think, oh, wow, that looks cool, but it's more of an impulse buy, and then you bring it home and then it's like, and there's nothing wrong with it, but you're like, why did I buy this? Or now I got buyer's guilt or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you just buy something for the sake of buying, and it happens sometimes,
Yeah, it's called an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanna ask, right? Like, cause I might be doing that as well. Cause I was thinking of getting the Harley Quinn premium format. What do you think of it, Russell? Cause I see she's in your collection. What do you think of her?
Oh, she's a beauty. It's only the regular. I don't have the exclusive. I'm actually, to be honest with you, I actually purposely bought the regular because I actually didn't like the one where she's poking her tongue out. I just didn't like it.
I didn't like it as well.
I thought it looked cool.
But yeah, no, I love that statue. Right?
Is she solid, or is she really hollow? How's it like?
Yeah, no, she's solid.
Solid, that's good.
Right, so you got poison ivy underneath.
Yeah.
Yep. Right, but she's I like her a lot.
Right? Yeah, I'm hoping to get her over this weekend. We'll see how it goes.
But it's funny, well, apart from Fury of the Beast, my favourite piece has got to be the Hellboy. Right?
That's a nice Hellboy.
Right? Because I just love the fact that it's cloth, right? It's mixed media, the detail, with the stuff hanging down from his pants, the leather pants, is just so well done, and the sculpt on it is perfect. Yeah. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Right? You can't fault this piece. It's heavy,
very nice.
Right? It's just all over, just a great piece, right? And I would rate it over because I've got obviously the other Hellboy, right? Because he's one of my favourite characters.
That's pretty, that one though.
Yeah, but
you think the movie one beats it?
I would take the other one any day of the week.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was that?
Nah, not me. But good for you though. I'm really happy with the Mike Mignola one. He's awesome.
Yeah, but we can't all have taste.
Yeah. But I would say that it's the first Hellboy that I wanted to get 2 pieces.
The what?
The first sideshow, or I would say the first quarter scale statue that I really want to get 2 pieces for, the Hellboy. Just because like you have 2 really different display options with it.
Is that the one where he's standing up?
Yeah, kind of hunched over, I guess. No, the comic one.
Yeah, the comic one. He's got the horns and he's got the crown and everything. Yeah.
It's like, I don't like the crown one. It's a bit, to me, it's a bit tacky.
What? I love that one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, you and me differ. Right?
Sorry?
That's the beauty of collecting, we all collect what we like.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And there's no judging, there's no nothing, it's just, it's like you either like it or you don't. That's why I'm sort of steering away from Sideshow in some ways because my focus has gone elsewhere. I'm collecting some more of the ARH stuff.
A lot of people are moving away from Sideshow.
Yeah, but it's just not become mecca to me anymore. It's just like because I'm really looking forward to the Death Dealer. Because I got the New York version of that, so I'm really looking forward to getting that. I'm looking forward to seeing the size of it because I think it's going to be bloody huge.
They're doing like the whole quarter scale, the horse and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new Mermaid tease? I think she looks good.
The what?
The new Mermaid tease from ARH.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, they've shown 2 teasers so far. It looks really good. Think of it like the Siren from Call of the Day, but the 2 of them, and then there's a switch out head for both of them, and one of them, they look gorgeous. The other one, they look really, really scary. I think it looks amazing. I think it looks way better than the Siren from Call of the Day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I'm a bit because I am going to collect the Call of the Dead ones. Well, one thing I do like about the Call of the Dead is you've got no bloody exclusive and regulars; they're all the same, which is good. And especially when it's online, because otherwise you get caught up in this bloody you got a regular when you should have an exclusive. Well, that's why I like the Mythos range because they're all the same. There was no exclusives. And
most of it away.
And to be honest with you, because I suffer from what do you call it, a bit of ADD or whatever. If I'm going to collect a range, I've got to have the whole lot. I can't be missing one.
Yeah.
Complete.
So unfortunately, I'm going to have to buy the Red Death, right?
Right.
Whoa! Yeah, I know, but we'll see. In many years to come, when we're all old and grey, right? And I've got Red Death there. You never know. You might end up selling it for a fortune. Who knows?
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it is a bit gross.
Yeah.
They'll look good together to having the set.
It'll look good. It'll look good. I think it'll look.
Sorry, can I just ask? Is that I've not met you before? Is that Rob or?
The what?
Yeah, Rob's there. He's having microphone troubles. We don't know what's happened. Possibly a Google Hangouts problem. It's usually I'm just blaming Google because.
No, it's Tasmanian, bro. Tasmanian internet,
yeah, it could be the Tasmanian internet. Although I'm able to connect with Mark all the way over in Brooklyn from the other side of the world. So I think this is incredible.
So only Tasmanians on the NBN?
There's some parts of Tassie are on the NBN. We're meant to be getting it down my street in a little while. The surveyors were down here a few months ago.
Because I'm just looking at Rob's collection. It looks really sweet, man. What is it? Did he show it just now? Or is it?
Yeah. I'll give us a look at it, eh?
Oh, damn! Yeah. It looks like one room. Like you have like one corner of the room to yourself. Shit.
Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah. I see what the Darkness statue. It's sick.
Colossus.
Oh man.
I wish he could talk.
Oh, original Captain America. Shit.
Nice.
Shit.
Is that XM Captain America?
No, the sideshow, man. The original, man.
The original one.
Damn.
Well, that's Weather, right?
Oh, nice. Davros.
One sick collection, man. Christopher Reeve.
Oh, gag.
Yes. This is like one other person in Australia who got Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Yes, there's two, of course. I wish we could hear you, Rob. The room.
I do hear faintly though. That's just it. I do hear like when he said, "Yeah," I did hear it. You know what I mean?
Oh, so, really?
It is. I did hear something. I thought. Did you say yeah? Yeah, he did. I thought I heard. You know what I mean? I heard yeah. You know.
Oh man.
That's cool. You've got a beautiful collection.
Yeah, it is, man. Really nice.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Does anyone know? No one knows.
Nah.
Okay. What was gonna ask? I was gonna ask. Oh, he has Apocalypse as well. That's cool. I was gonna ask. Has anyone talked about XM today?
No, we haven't talked about XM yet.
Yeah, I was having some fun in that thread. I had a pretty shitty day yesterday, and I was like, "Oh man, this is awesome." The XM versus Sideshow debate. Oh man, it was awesome.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. Awesome. I would have enjoyed that.
You would have enjoyed. Apparently, Singapore dollar is the same as US dollar.
What? Really?
Yeah, apparently. And some people are just like claiming like, why can't they put it clearly in Singapore dollars? I don't know. I went to the official website. It puts there in every single listing SGD and then the dollar sign. Last I checked, SGD is, I don't know, it doesn't look like USD. I could be wrong, and I'm not really good at English, you know, but I think SGD is not USD.
That's not true, Helmer. Your English is quite good.
Very good.
Quite good, thank you.
Well, you're telling me it's not the first language.
Yeah, it is my first language. Oh, who's that?
Yeah.
Oh, finally!
Oh, there's Omar as well. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow, and he's not working. What's going on?
Yeah.
Omar.
Hey, Omar. We can't hear you, man. Nothing.
Did anything happen with XM this week? Because I was to show. I just saw that Chronicle have shown us a picture of their quarter endo.
That bass, man. That bass. It's all about the bass. Look at that.
Yeah. What? I'm not feeling that bass actually, though.
You should have some skulls on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Way too lazy. Way too lazy. Like I would rather have a pop culture shock like kind of base which is round as opposed to just square and that's it. Yeah.
And some sand made in silver.
I found a different angle of it on the forum.
Whoa.
I think we're not supposed to share it. This is just for you guys. Keep it here. Well, that's torn that.
Dang, that looks weird somehow. Like he looks weird. Like he skipped leg day at the gym or something.
They changed him. His shoulders are more broad. They look more like the T-600 from Terminator 4, whatever that one was called. Terminator Salvation.
He looks like that statue from the Transformer one from Prime 1.
Yeah, front on. I'm not feeling that.
The gun's too big.
It must be some new canon or something for the film.
Look, this is just a toy. Obviously, it's not a statue, but you could see if you look at the doll, the NECA doll, the gun from Terminator 2 is clearly different from that.
Mm.
The shoulders, I'm not sure if the shoulders are all that different, but you know, at least
could be the pose.
Frame of reference. I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I really hope they change their base and the pose. I don't know. It feels awkward.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it either. No.
I like the
Omar's maybe going.
What's that?
Is Omar going? I think he might be. Oh, he can't get his mic to work. No good, mate. Sorry, mate.
What's going on with you?
What?
Yeah.
Is anyone getting the Red Sun Superman statue?
We were having a look at that. I think the consensus is that we like it, but none of us are getting it.
Yeah.
Unless Rob was thinking about it. I don't know. He might be a big Red Sun fan. The statue is really nice though.
Yeah, can you show me what you mean? Which one are you talking about?
Let me get him up.
I think I will get him if the edition size was too small, as in get him quickly, if the edition size was too small, but if it's a really big edition size, I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to just use my points one day or something.
Is that a new sideshow, is it?
Yeah.
Yes. It's a Red Sun variant of the Superman. Oh, that's Heath Ledger.
I love the base, man. I'm really digging the base.
Yeah, me too. I thought that base is really nice.
Yeah, and the collar, I love the collar. The head sculpt is wow. Head sculpt is perfection.
Yeah, I'm actually liking that because what I also like is it is a variant, and they're not just repainting or a rehash. It's actually it's quite a difference.
Yeah. He's a new head, new cape.
Show on the back, the cape, to show how that it's different.
Yeah.
That's the same, I think.
Other one.
I was just thinking, you know what, just to make it a little bit more different, I might even just get this and get a custom cloth cape, you know, and just drape it around his front just like in the comics and stuff like that. So, you know, make it different enough compared to the other Superman. So we don't look too, I don't know. I hate it when you have two statues that look exactly the same, you know? So, I don't know. I might get it. But Wonder Woman with that hair, that oh man, I hate that.
Yeah, I cancelled mine. I didn't end up liking it.
Yes, I had her on pre-order as well. I ended up cancelling.
Oh, okay. I didn't get her as well.
I have her.
And I guess they're doing a Wonder Woman Red Sun, and they've got the Batman planned as well. Batman is definitely, I think he's got the coolest costume in that.
Man, you already have the life-size bust with that one.
Yeah, I was trying to say that he actually got it right.
Man, you got it even before Sideshow, man. Shit.
Yeah.
Damn, look at that.
Exclusive access.
What's that? Alaskan Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they? Oh gosh, Siberian Batman.
Siberian.
It's like Batman on the Deadliest Catch.
Yeah. But it's amazing, you know, as a joke. But it actually, you know, when I look at it, it's like, you know, it fits him. It looks good on him. It's like Doctor wearing a fez. Yeah, the 10th Doctor wearing, or the 11th Doctor wearing a fez in the Doctor Who TV series.
Yeah.
Like actor, this hat fits Batman.
Yo, Charlie, how's the reaction been to your bust? I mean, your family and stuff like that. Surprisingly, my family actually loved that bust as well. Like, I have it, so they were like, I think that was probably their favorite piece of the collection as well.
The Arnie bust or the Batman?
The Arnie bust.
Yeah, people really liked it.
The battle damage one.
Sorry, Russell?
The battle damage one.
Yeah. I got that last week.
It's nice. It looks very lifelike.
Yeah, I think I left him here on the because we did the first ever live like statue review on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's the first ever, but I left it here. I left it here on the desk, and I went to bed.
Is of the same quality as some of those other like premium ones we were talking about earlier. I mean,
yeah.
I apologize for interrupting.
So my little girl really, she came out. She was like, "Daddy, what's that? Who's that man?" I said, "Oh, he's just a robot, man." What happened? What happened to his face? Little accident. Just a little accident. Little accident. So I think we put a hat on him because she was worried that side of his face would get cold. So
that was so adorable.
so we put a hat on him, and then she was like, now the robot man will be warm. Oh, that's good.
Aww. So sweet.
Yeah.
That was so adorable.
So he's gone down. He's down in the statue room now. He's there on the Arnold shelf, and I've gone down to visit him every day. I love it. Yeah.
Can I ask, like, at what age are you gonna show her all these awesome movies like Terminator 2? Because Terminator 2 is PG-13, but man, I love that movie. If I had my own kids, they have to watch all these movies, man. I don't know movies for sure, man.
I don't know. It's. I mean, it is PG, but I was terrified of that movie when it came out. I must have been. The T-1000 fucking freaked me out. That he could be anywhere. That he was like in the floor, and people had walked over him. I was freaking out. I thought like he had like morphed himself into the shape of our dog, and he was like walking around our house, like like he'd turned himself into a small white dog, and he was like,
that's golden.
Around it. I know, around our house. So
I was scene out of that movie where he turns his hand into a spike and goes through the milk carton. Right. When the camera pans around, he's like, that was a pretty cool scene.
Yeah. Amazing.
When I was a kid, you know what's funny? When you made me think. When I was a kid, you know what monster scared me? The Blob, because the Blob it eats you. It rolls under the door. It rolls. You don't even see it coming.
Yep.
And once it touches you, you're dead. Because you cut it off your limbs really quick. And so I used to come up with things in my mind as a kid that it's winter. So the Blob isn't going to be around because it's too cold for him. In the summer, it's the summer, it's safe because we have the air conditioning on, so it's too cold for the Blob to come and get me. You know, I was literally afraid of the Blob as a kid. I know, it's crazy.
That's great.
Yeah. Actually, it's sort of funny that, because, you know, I grew up watching, you know, the old Universal horror movies, you know, Frankenstein, all that sort of thing, but I remember the scene that freaked me out the most out of all the movies I've ever seen back when I was a kid was the original version of The Fly. I don't know if you've ever seen that, right? But right at the end...
Not the Jeff Goldblum one.
Sorry?
Not the Jeff Goldblum one, the original. The original.
I think it was actually in black and white.
Yeah.
And... The very last scene was it panned down onto a spider web, and the guy that turned into a fly, he was half fly, half man, stuck to a web. He was like tiny, and he was stuck to a web, and some spider was walking to eat him. And I'll tell you what, that freaked me out for weeks.
Oh, man. That is creepy.
Yeah. Oh, God, that's unforgettable. You know what? You're explaining it, I feel it in my heart. You know what I mean? Like, I feel that scene. That's an iconic, horrifying. Like, it's almost like a punch to the gut, considering everything else that happens before that. But that is a traumatizing scene.
Yeah.
It's like, I gotta go to a psychiatrist now. You know, after seeing something like that. It's weird.
The biggest faux pas I ever made as a father was I'd never seen. My son was about 9 years old, and I should have vetted it first. And because I was always used to horror movies, and I never expect anything to be really quite scary. It was I was watching The Ring.
Oh,
right?
Oh yeah, The Ring.
Oh, yes. Wait, the Japanese one or the American one?
No, the American one. Right. And my son was sitting there watching, and he was 9 years old. We were watching this movie.
No,
and,
that's too much.
And it was too much, and I had to turn it off. It was too late. By the time the first scene where she, when that scene where they did that camera trick where she looked like she was walking towards you in that stutter effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was too late by then. He'd already seen that, right? And I tell you what, he couldn't sleep for a week. He never lets me forget that. I learned a very valuable lesson there.
For older movies, right, for older horror movies, the thing that really freaked me out was The Exorcist. That spider walk. That spider walk freaked the shit out of me. And then whenever they had the flashes of the devil, and suddenly the screen will flash and there's this face.
Yeah.
There's the face of the devil. Shit, that shit gets to me every time. And just the other day, I just was watching the first Alien movie, right? And I was watching it through like the lenses of someone who's never seen how the alien looks like or what's going to happen. Like just having the frame of thought. And you know what? I really wish that I could just go back in time and just watch the movie without knowing anything, because that movie, if you knew nothing about the movie, if you didn't know how the alien looked like, that movie was scary as hell. Like it really is scary as hell. And I can see why people fainted, because it was in the newspapers and stuff like that. People were fainting in the cinemas because that movie, you had no clue, you didn't know how it looked like. It was really, really scary.
The creature is original. I mean, unless you were familiar with Giga's work, nothing could prepare you for that.
Yeah.
Probably still one of the most original alien designs that I know of. I mean, that I could think of anyway.
I could go back in time, man, without knowing how it looks like, man. That would be epic, man, to watch that movie.
The whole look of that movie, I remember watching that last year on Blu-ray, and the production design and where he puts the camera and where they leave the camera, I was just like, this movie is like flawless. Like I couldn't find, there wasn't one frame of film that was like, you could have done without that, Ridley. You could have cut that, mate. I couldn't find any.
Exactly.
It's amazing that movie.
And that scene with the space jockey, I love it. I love how they didn't give any explanation. It was just so mysterious. That's the thing. The reason I like the movie so much is because there's so much mystery. And it doesn't like nowadays with the movies and stuff like that, they just hit you in the face with the answers or just straightforwardness or like, come on, like, they don't leave you thinking. And Alien was not like that. Even though it's like made way back then, it's still such a classic. And there's so much mystery to it.
That's because less is more sometimes, especially like that's the reason why Ridley Scott didn't get this. He goes, nobody ever asked me what the space jockey was. Well, that's because nobody had to ask you. It's like the Krell in Forbidden Planet. Nothing will ever be better than what you can imagine.
Yeah,
that's for everybody. What we all imagine in our minds is exactly what it should look like. And anytime you kind of try and show you something like that, nobody, believe me, the last thing I wanted to see was a tall blonde albino guy with black eyes and muscle bound. That's space jockey. You know what I mean? That's kind of a disappointment. Nothing is going to match what your imagination comes up with, and some things are better left to the imagination. Less is more sometimes. By the by, it was cool too. It was just so huge.
Yeah. Another movie that's very similar to that is The Thing. That was actually well done.
Awesome movie.
Right. Because that kept you for a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
That's arguably one of Carpenter's. In fact, Carpenter said in an interview that is his best film, which is surprising since a lot of people would say Halloween.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you guys know about like the classic iconic poster for The Thing, right? You know the story behind it?
Jules Chazan.
Huh?
Who painted it?
No, as in like that popular, like everyone, when you say The Thing, everyone knows that poster, right? That poster was a last-minute job, but it was like they fucked up the poster, and they had to come up with something really quick. They just did that, and can you imagine something that was just like that, and it's an instant classic?
The guy who painted that, he's now like a real famous poster artist for the movies. His name is Jules Chazan. He did like Indiana Jones. Like he does really good lifelike actors. I learned that from seeing that movie, The Mist. Yeah.
You're talking about this one, Helmy? The one,
that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah. That was a rush job, was it?
That was a rush job.
Wow. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I love how accidents can come up with the best kind of outcome. For example, like this poster and Jaws, the movie Jaws. It's like, you know, the reason why it worked so well because you didn't see Jaws that much. But the reason why you didn't see Jaws that much was because the damn thing didn't work half the time.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with Mark. Sometimes less is more. You know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say when I was in film school, we saw on a big screen a projection of The Creature from the Black Lagoon, and if you look at the underwater photography and you compare it to Jaws, shot for shot, a lot of the things that happen underwater, Spielberg actually looked at that and copied it. And
really?
And I'm not. You can check it out for yourself. I'm not saying just the photography in terms of how it was framed, how it worked, to build up the suspense. And Spielberg actually did that for Jaws for some of the scenes, and that's why Spielberg's a genius. You know what I mean? He's like what was that famous artist say? Great artists create. Good artists create. Great artists steal. Well, I don't believe in stealing, but but he really did a great job of. If you are going to steal from the best.
From the Black Lagoon. I don't know. Have you seen it, Charlie?
The Creature from the Black Lagoon. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that movie was shot amazing. Like considering its age, like how they managed to shoot all of that, I was freaking impressed. And I don't know if you guys have seen the 3D version of the Blu-ray, but my God, it is one of the best 3D Blu-rays I've ever seen. It really sticks out. There's certain scenes I'm like, God damn. And I highly recommend anyone if you want to try 3D, check out that the Blu-ray. It's really cheap. I think it's going for like $10-15, but it's really good. It's really sharp, and I cannot believe that they managed to do it for such an old movie.
Those Universal classics, I mean, I know people that even if they've read the books, Mary Shelley or whatever, or Bram Stoker, they still like Bela Lugosi's Dracula, Boris Karloff is Frankenstein, and they like the story and the movie better than the movie did this. No matter how good the book is, since they grew up with the movie, and Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein is one of the few sequels that, it's arguably better than the original, depending on how you look at it. I'm not going to argue with people who disagree, but it is a good sequel at the very least.
Hello.
There's Rob.
Aha! Am I on?
We've got you.
Where are you from, Rob?
Hello. Finally there, Jimmy.
What?
How are you, Jimmy? Well.
Good, mate.
Yeah, nice to be on at last. Finally fixed all the technical difficulties, and here we are.
Sorry about that, mate. I'm glad we've got you with the voice now. That's great.
All good. Yeah. All good.
It's tough getting that dial-up working.
I
E.T. Oh, yeah.
Get on the mousetrap.
Where are you from, Rob?
Sydney. South
Okay,
Sydney.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm going
I
over.
heard you guys earlier
Sorry?
tonight talking about Fury Road, and where I live is sort of down near Cronulla, and they actually shot part of Beyond Thunderdome. I don't know if you know, down in Cronulla they've got like sand hills, and that's where they had the big fuselage for the plane. The scene where they come over the hill and all the kids are lined up on the fuselage, and Max sees the kids there, and then he turns his back and he walks off. That was all shot not far from where I live. I remember that as a kid going down there, and they had it all fenced off, and this gigantic plane dumped sort of on these sand hills. And if you look over the sand hills, you've got the sea in one direction, you've got Sydney Airport in the next direction, and a refinery like literally 2 minutes away.
Yeah. Oh wow!
So it's really interesting. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was burned into my brain seeing all that there. It's pretty amazing for a young fella.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, Mark, I was going to ask you this before I forget. Sorry for a quick detour, but we were talking about the Universal monsters and stuff like that. Have you heard, maybe I was dreaming, or I remember reading somewhere that they want to reboot all the Universal monsters and they want to do something like an Avengers kind of thing, where they kind of all get together. Is that true?
I heard this too.
Yeah.
Personally. No, I don't know.
Like the Avengers of the Universal horror movies. I was like, whoa, that's pretty ambitious.
I mean, because they did a lousy job trying to bring. Well, the first Mummy was interesting, but then after that, with The Rock coming out with the horrible CGI and all that, I never heard anything. When Universal did try to do some reboots of their classic characters, I would like to see that. It sounds like Universal Suicide Squad in a way, doesn't it? Like all the monsters getting together. Or another version of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, except this is the League of Extraordinary Villains or something.
Yeah. Creature from Black Lagoon, the actor's going to be Scarlett Johansson. Like, yeah, I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
Who's going to be? What's our character going to be?
She's the lead actress in Creature of the Black Lagoon, Scarlett Johansson.
That'd be good.
Yeah, she's gonna be hot in that. But here's the thing: I was just thinking, if you're gonna do an Avengers style kind of horror kind of characters, right? Like, okay, I can see Dracula because they really overpowered him in the new movie. He's super powerful. I get that. But Wolfman, I don't know. I'm not really feeling him. And Creature from the Black Lagoon, that guy is slow on land, man. What else? Frankenstein, really? He's gonna be hero? Like, come on. Shit, I can run faster than that guy.
Was that so? That they did that I Frankenstein, didn't they, with Aaron Eckhart? That was fucking. That was awful.
Yeah. So I haven't watched it. I was thinking of watching it.
I was excited about seeing that too, but it was. I'm not a fan of those underworld movies with the Kate Beckinsale, and that I really don't like them.
I love those movies.
I don't know. I don't know why people do like them. I think they're pretty lame, but people like them. No. And that I Frankenstein felt like
tight leather.
We'll take Frankenstein and we'll make him like Underworld, and I didn't like it. And
wait, how about Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter? Surprisingly, that was quite entertaining. It wasn't the best movie.
See that.
But I was quite entertained. Have you seen that?
Nah.
I know about it. Obviously, but didn't see it.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, if you really want to see an interesting reboot of the Universal characters in the 1950s, with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, they did, the Hammer Studios in England did, had the license, and they did real gothic, beautiful color horror films. Where, maybe not as respected as a Universal or not as treasured because the Hammer Studio really doesn't exist as it was back then. But the Hammer horrors are the best. I mean, are great.
I've watched a few of the Hammer horrors.
A friend of mine.
What's that? I can't see anything.
Big box set.
Yes, I have no reflection. Oh my God. Oh, I see.
There we go.
That's cool.
Blu-ray box set, all the Hammer horrors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
13 Blu-rays.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
they don't
Good
have
stuff.
that here.
Where'd you get that from?
JB Hi-Fi, $45.
Oh,
Christ.
Yeah, it's from
just told me
special
that,
not that long
told me
ago.
that an hour ago. Shit.
Yeah. No, it's a good set.
Is that region coding or is that like playable only in Australian countries or
It's Region B.
region B?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I free player and you'll be fine.
Well, no,
Everyone should have one.
I have a DVD player from back in the day, but I got to tell you that all the times it wasn't worth the amount of region-free DVDs that I bought, if you know what I mean. Like, so like I decided to stick to the stick to the
Being in
amount.
the States, you get the pick of everything.
I know that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Can I just say, like, for the older movies, right? Somehow sometimes I kind of prefer the DVD version over the Blu-ray version, just because like the Blu-ray version looks a little bit too clean, if you know what I mean. It's an old movie and it's just way too clean, just like maybe they do it a little bit too much of digital enhancing, and I don't know. Sometimes I prefer.
You're a vinyl fan.
Huh?
You're a vinyl fan.
Yeah, I love vinyl actually.
Yeah, the Predator Blu-ray, the last version of Predator, they came out. Some of those scenes of Arnie at the beginning talking with Carl Weathers, and they look a bit.
It's waxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's DNR.
It's a little bit much.
Yeah, too much DNR, man.
Yeah, the process they apply to get rid of the grain that's in the film stock, and it just makes everything look waxy.
Yeah.
It's no good.
I went and put the VHS in after that.
Betamax, man, shit.
Yeah, like that.
Oh shit.
Very nice.
VHS.
I don't know if I mentioned this before. Have you guys heard of CED? I think it's called CED. Do you know what's that?
No.
It is literally a vinyl that plays video.
Oh,
really?
Vinyl video CD.
That plays video.
Oh, no, video disc.
The laser.
Video disc.
Laserdisc.
No. It's a vinyl.
Before laser. It's before laser.
That
It's called
plays video.
CED video disc from the 1980s, early 1980s. CED video disc. RCA tried to push that through
Yeah.
in the early 80s.
That went the way of Betamax.
I loved Laserdisc though. I miss Laserdisc in some ways.
Yeah.
You brought home a movie. It was like bringing home a reel of film, and it just like felt so substantial. And they had some great box sets.
Yeah.
You know.
You still got any Laserdiscs?
I do. Yeah. I mean, not in my
man.
apartment here. They're at my parents' house, but yeah, I still have some.
Yeah, I've got a few as well.
This is a CED.
And
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Ones. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Godfather.
Close
Got the
Encounters.
big T2 box set as well.
oh yeah, that's the leather one.
Yeah, big one.
I gotta watch that again.
Do you have the Star Wars Definitive Collection? Because that's one
No.
I sold that I regret.
I never got it.
Oh.
I wish I did have it though.
I wish I did too. I had it back in the day, like in 1993, and then I remember selling it because I was stupid. And I have the special edition box set, but that's not the same, you know.
Yeah, as soon as DVD came down the pike, it was like, right, see you later, Laserdisc, all gone.
Yeah.
I kept a couple of good ones. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I wish I had gone to them all.
I believe that I think you can go, on eBay and pick up laser discs for like $10 a dozen. Seriously,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you can get them, but if I can get one, like I do have one cool one. It was a Japanese import because there was no region encoding, and back then it wasn't available. It's Dune, and it has the widescreen, the theatrical, and then extended version that David Lynch just saw. And back when that came out, when I got that, that was like for me having that that was like almost like getting a Grail, because I had never seen Dune widescreen on any video format, you know, because it wasn't available.
It's a fantastic looking movie.
Yeah.
Man, those are cool.
Yeah. There's also there's still a huge following for LD collectors. Some of the LDs are still really expensive. VHS, there's even a documentary on it, on VHS collectors. Apparently there's this one super rare VHS about this really shit movie. It's really, really bad. But it's worth like, what, 15,000 American dollars.
What?
Yeah, VHS is still like really doing well in terms of collectability.
Really?
It's coming back in a big way for collectors now. It's the in thing. Surprisingly.
I used to review these back in the early days of DVD because there were certain studios that were supporting DivX, and these were like sold in countries like Malaysia or China, video CDs or VCDs. I still have them. You know, but no, this is the reason why I reviewed them, because they would send them to me from this store in Malaysia called Eureka Movies to review. So they would give me the movie in return for me giving them a review. And at the time, a lot of these titles were just not available yet on DVD. So my idea was, okay, I'm going to review VCDs as a complement to DVD in an attempt to try and destroy the Circuit City DivX format, which was a pay-per-view DVD format. And, well, I'm not saying I had something to do with that, but I like to think I had a little small thing to do with it, you know? And so I'm, believe it or not, reviewing these things, and this is no BS. I mean, I could try taking it down. I was in the New York, it got me in the New York Times. Reviewing VCDs. I could show you guys because I have it right here. I have it framed.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
My brother had it framed for me.
That's awesome.
Do you see it?
No, very nice.
I'm sorry if I don't know if I'm getting the right angle for you guys. Tell me if it's too close or something.
Yeah. Who is that?
That's me. That's me when I used to live with my parents.
Oh, when you were 40?
Yeah, when I was 40, you know, now I'm 80. Yeah.
That's cool. Cool.
Yeah. Who would think, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, I just wanted to show. So I mean, you never know. Who knows? Maybe even VCD. Some crazy people might start collecting those.
I don't feel the nostalgia when it comes to DVD, but VHS, I see it. DVDs, well, there's a lot of really cool box sets, but I don't know about VCDs, man.
I know. I'm teasing, but believe it or not, there are a few. I did keep a few VCDs purposely because I just did. I mean, I didn't pay for them, but I just did. Like, there's certain sets that will never come out, like certain cuts of movies or whatever, you know, or just because I'm a fan and like I like Star Wars, so I kept the Star Wars box. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the big draw because when Star Wars came out, Episode 1, it only came out on VHS here in the States, but in Japan it came out on Laserdisc, which I have that, and then it came out in China and other countries on VCD. It didn't come out on DVD until 2001. So for a long time, if you wanted to watch outside of the Laserdisc or VCR, if you just had to watch it on your DVD player because DVD players were mostly backward compatible. That's what you had to do.
Yeah.
And well, I would dig it out, but it's too, you know, it's in one of those CD long boxes.
I'll be honest, I still do have a couple of VCDs left, and the only reason I like having them around is because I like to compare them with my Blu-ray. I'm like, man, shit, how do I even watch VCDs, man? Because those things suck.
You love VCDs. Yeah, they actually got better with compression towards the end. But you know, once DivX was dead, there was no reason to review it anymore.
Yeah.
It was just, because then they started. That's when they started releasing movies like Alien and stuff on DVD and that sort of thing. You know. But
what I think what's sad is we can all remember when DVD came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it was still hard to get them.
Yeah.
I remember when. Geez, you want to see how old I am? I remember when VHS was first coming out, and there was only one video store in the whole neighborhood, and like the machines were so huge, and they had a dial instead of like there wasn't even press buttons; they just had dials and things like that.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how expensive they were, and I didn't even know it was called VHS. Because there was Betamax, so I kept saying the Betamax, the Betamax. You know what I mean? And I used to fantasize like maybe someone.
You bought a Betamax one.
You know what's weird though? Sony will support, even when the product goes south. Sony will support it. It'll support it for as long as it possible. So in that respect, yeah, it was a bad deal for people who bought Betamax, but at least they still got service for their Betamax players or whatever, you know what I mean? Sony stood behind their product for them, for a few years. And some companies forget about it. Something doesn't work, it's like HD DVD, gone.
Do you remember when VHS first came out? When you went to the local? Well, I grew up in Scotland, just south of Aberdeen on the east coast, and the video hire place was actually also the local gun shop. And
nice.
They had this dark little dingy black corner. You went through a curtain and all these VHS up on these MDF shelves. And we were the first ones to own a VHS player in the street. And we went down there. We wanted to go and hire a video, and membership was £100. You had to join to hire your VHS. This is back in the 1970s, right?
Yeah.
And it cost £100 back then to join.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what? But I can't stand kids these days. Like, man, I can't buy the Blu-ray or the DVD. It's so expensive, man. I read it, download it. I'm like, bitch. Back in my day, a DVD was like $50. You get the Blu-ray for what? 12, 15 bucks. Dude, I just saw 1 to 7, all 7 movies on Blu-ray from Amazon for what? 15 bucks. Yeah. And when kids like, oh man, movies are too expensive, and all that. Or people like, it's too expensive. Like, shit, ain't expensive. It's so much cheaper. Just because you have something free, obviously it's going to be expensive. But it's not expensive.
What gets me is when you when the first Captain America came out on Blu-ray, how expensive that was. It was like $39.
Still nothing compared to the days when DVD just came out, man. That was really expensive. I still remember buying DVDs for like $55 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's why I love
these prices of Laserdiscs. $100 a pop.
Laserdiscs were like that. Yep, you got that. The Criterions and all that.
Yeah, Laserdisc. Damn.
VHS, and then all of a sudden it switched. VHS became sell-through, and Laserdisc was just, the cost was like $100 because it became a niche product. So they went after the collector.
Yeah. I still remember buying Super Bit DVDs, man. Like what, $75 Super Bit? I'm like, shit. Why did I buy into that nonsense, man?
You're getting ripped off.
They're doing it again with the mastered in 4K. Sony's doing that.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't buy it.
That's a Super Bit Blu-ray. That's all it is. It used to be mastered in high definition, but it still comes out in standard definition.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that they were that expensive where you guys are, because like when DVDs came out here, Warner Brothers, the idea was they were supposed to be like no more expensive than $29 tops or $24. And so you had stores selling them for like $19.99. Some of them, like the ones. And we were in one of the few early adopter cities. Like it was 7-city rollout originally. in New York, LA,
whatever. Asia, when it first came out, when DVDs first came out, this shit was expensive as hell.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess you convert it to US dollars, right? I would say maybe $40 for that.
No, I remember.
Something. I mean, I had no idea.
The first DVD player I got was a DVD-ROM that went in my computer, and I started importing discs from the US literally straight away. And the first two things, I think the first thing I got was the DTS Master Dances with Wolves. It's across 2 discs. It's the theatrical cut. It's one of the earliest DVDs that I think it was MGM at the time put out. It cost me about $25 or something, and I thought I was in heaven. You know, after paying hundreds of dollars for laser discs, it was, this was nothing.
I remember when I actually saw that in the store. I remember picking it up and then talking to Bill Hunt at the Digital Bits and asking him, why is it spread across 2 discs? And, DTS, it's in a box. And he's just like, well, back then they had, because the DTS takes up more room.
The DTS track was so large they couldn't fit it on, they couldn't compress it onto 1 disc.
Yeah.
But what also makes me laugh is the fact of how many people can put their hand up and say they've got Star Wars trilogy on every format ever released, right? It's like, I've got it on VHS, I've got it on DVD, I've got it on Blu-ray. It's like, seriously, how many times
can you own it? Have it on VCD. I have it on VCD.
I've got it on VHS twice.
I've got it on VHS, Laserdisc, DVD, and video CD. I keep them as collector's items.
That's great.
No. Hang on. I'll see if I can top that.
Let's see if I can top that. Shit.
All right.
VHS.
THX certified.
Theatrical cuts. Theatrical cuts. Nice. No crap.
I like the artwork on that.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
I just saw there's actually a CED disc, the vinyl one for Star Wars. I didn't even know that.
How much?
Yeah.
I don't know, but they have it for that. So it's like, if anyone has a CED and a VCD, they probably do. He probably wins the competition, man.
I just beat you guys out now. This is the final, the story of Star Wars on record. It's the movie on record, and you opened it up, and you had pictures.
Yeah.
Wow.
Remember those?
I've got the first 2 of those somewhere. The Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, and every time you have to turn the page, R2-D2 would beep, and you have to turn the page.
I got one.
You have which one? The Empire one?
I didn't have any of that.
A New Hope at Empire.
I should have the Empire one. I actually got that other one in Greece.
That's
awesome.
It doesn't have a book, but it has the pictures that you could follow.
I used to have that. I had that.
I've had these since I was a kid.
Yeah.
When it came out, because I would just come home and it was that and the little ViewMaster with either stills or they had this little toy where you put a little Super 8 thing and you look through the view thing and you went shh like that, and it would maybe a minute and a half of Super 8 film or something, and you would I would just go back and forth TIE fighter exploding forward. Backward. I had one for Alien too. Where you the Alien just to get that little glimpse of
That's cool, man. Why would you do that to kids? Because I'm assuming that's meant for kids, right? Why would you do an Alien one for kids, man? That's just wrong.
Here, hold on. I'll be right back. This is just too cool. I'm sorry.
Man, he should be doing the showbacks from now on, man.
Yeah, for real.
These are from the 70s. This is from the 70s and the early 80s. And I still have them because I treasure these. Alien, the photo album.
8mm cut down reel?
It's actually the entire movie. It's all pictures. and these were popular in the 70s and early 80s before. So it's like this was like it's the whole movie photographed with the dialogue or whatever, and it's written like a storybook, you know. So I got this as a kid. You know, I got my mother to buy it for me because she didn't know what it was. You know, I'm buying the Alien book. You know, okay, if you shut up, I'll buy it for you. You know, and then I mean, the cost back then was $8.95.
What?
$8.95. And then because at the time it looked like it took place in the same universe as Alien, Outland.
Oh, yeah.
The Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it. Waking up.
We're struggling.
This is American
Tasmanian internet.
Yeah.
Australian government's kicked in.
I'm sorry.
We're just losing you a little bit there, Mark.
Sorry. You are presenting to everyone. Yeah. I don't know. That's what it says up here on the green. Can you guys hear me at all?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Okay. Still got you, mate. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You were just chopping a little bit there. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Look. Sometimes I talk too much, obviously. So if you guys ever see me talking too much, just tell me to shut up. I won't take it offense.
In the background.
I'm echoey. I'm sorry.
No, you're coming through nice and clear. I think now. Maybe it was just for a minute there.
I also have the Heavy Metal comic, but that's been released several times by Archie Goodwin of Alien for Heavy Metal magazine.
Dude, I love Heavy Metal, man.
Yeah. They did. Have you seen the Alien comic?
Yeah. You mean the really big one, right?
Yeah. The big one.
Yeah, that was really good. I love that one.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I have that. I got a lot of weird books. I love sci-fi books. I love art books. You know, I mean, I can't draw for shit, but I just like looking at other people's artwork. You know.
Yeah, I like the monster stories in the Heavy Metal magazines and stuff like that. I think there's this one magazine series called Monster or something like that. That was really, really cool too. But I've always liked Heavy Metal, and I think there was a movie on it, right, Mark?
Yes, 1981. I saw it. That I think I didn't. 1981, Alien. About Aliens, Heavy Metal. It came out in 1981.
Yeah. There was a movie.
Yeah, I saw that in Manhattan. My brother, because by that point he was old enough to be my guardian, so he could take me to an R-rated picture.
Yeah.
And it was so loud, like when in the theater, where to see it. And back then, Times Square was really seedy, but the movie theaters, the legitimate ones, were really nice. And I just remember the first time the Lochnar, that green evil ball, comes out and melts the guy and the person screams. It was so loud that even though I wasn't frightened in the sense of I'm afraid a Lochnar is going to come at me like the Blob, the Lochnar...
Again.
Really, I mean, the sound is just like reminded me as a kid. But the monster that go for a second and goes. Blah, 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 blah. I remember so many times I would close my eyes because I was so. The first time it happened, it made me jump in the in my seat. I went, like a little girl. You know what I mean? Because I didn't expect it. And then for so long I would be like, it's coming, and then I'd pussy out and excuse my language, I'd close my eyes. Sorry for cursing there or whatnot. But you know what I mean. I would just be like a total chicken. But but then I got manly, sort of. Not exactly in the best of shape, but at least I'm brave. You know what was fun to see in the movies? American Werewolf in London. That was great to see.
Yeah.
So some scenes in that were just so like wild, like the nightmares, especially like the ones where the werewolves come in with they're wearing like like Nazi uniforms or something, and with machine guns, and they go. Like those Nightmare was so crazy. That was a great movie.
I can't remember, man. The movie is way too old for me, man. I watched it, but I can't remember the movie at all. It's like if I watch it again, it's like watching the movie for the first time. So that's kind of awesome. But I cannot remember that movie. So just a quick question, Rob. Have you watched Heavy Metal before?
Oh yeah, I've watched it many times, but I don't have it on Blu-ray or anything. But I've watched it. You can watch it for free on YouTube.
Yeah. Nah, what? The thing has a lot of nudity.
Oh yeah, I know, but it's on YouTube still. Somebody just uploaded it. Sometimes you could also watch it on Crackle, which is it's uncut, but there's commercials, interruptions.
Okay.
But you could stream it for free on Crackle on your computer, your laptop, or if you have a Roku or Apple TV.
Yep.
You know, or smart TV.
How about the rest? Have you seen that movie as well, Heavy Metal, Charlie?
No, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. It's kind of weird. The movie's kind of weird, but I quite like it. It's quite different. And I think the art was done by Frank Frazetta. I think so.
Some of it, perhaps.
So the artwork is really, really nice. Really, really nice.
Some nice rotoscope too.
Yeah.
Frazetta did with Ralph Bakshi Fire and Ice.
Yeah. Fire and Ice was, oh man.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, Fire and Ice.
I want to get the Frazetta for that, man.
That was an animated movie, wasn't it?
There was a what?
It was animated. It was but animated. It was one of his better animated films because it was less rotoscope. It was,
I forgot about that.
That was Bakshi and Frazetta collaborating on that. Yeah. And now I hear Robert Rodriguez wants to make a live-action version of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. A lot of people attach to that project. Actually, it's not just Rodriguez. I even heard Del Toro his name was being brought up. A couple other big guys as well. Fincher, I think Fincher wanted to do it as well. But really love Heavy Metal and all that stuff. And Frazetta, man, I love his artwork. I love his artwork, man.
James Cameron wanted to do that too. They wanted to make a live-action Heavy Metal movie because it's an anthology, the first one.
Yeah.
And so each director would get a part of the thing, and I don't know whether they would use, because the original cartoon movie, they used a mix of stories from the actual magazine and then a few original ones. Yeah. But, they had some interesting ones. Like one was written by Dan O'Bannon, who wrote Alien, and some of them, like the one with the B-52 bomber and the people, the dead coming back to life.
Oh, that was good.
Zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was written by Dan O'Bannon, and at the time also, if you look at the first cartoon in it, or the first part in the Harry Canyon, it's a cab driver in a futuristic New York.
Yeah.
If you think about it, I think that The Fifth Element may have been inspired somewhat by Heavy Metal, especially since Heavy Metal started as a magazine. I think it was called Metal Hurlant or something like that. I don't really know French or anything, but
it's on Blade Runner as well.
Yeah, that's true. But Sid Mead, the futurist, designed both movies, the thing. So could just be copying, over, both of them.
Yeah. I have the Heavy Metal HCG Cybercorp. I love that piece, man. It's one of the best pieces ever. And I don't know, I have a thing for Heavy Metal.
Heavy Metal, cool. I used to buy the magazine when I was in high school, but it got a little bit too weird for me back then. And then they stopped publishing it for a long time, but now you can still buy it. Now it's back in stores and stuff. My little dog.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you something I picked up the other day. Right? I don't know if you can you see that?
Yeah.
In the Beast magazine comic.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Right, that's the original, 1976. Right, and believe it or not, I got #1.
Oh,
fantastic.
wow.
1974, right? Original back. That.
Mm.
Right?
Very cool.
Perfect. 1974, #1 edition.
Get it slab, bro. Get it slab.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
Right. What I'm going to do is with my Fury of the Beast one, I'm going to actually have these two framed together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I'll take it down and get them framed, right, and have them beside the statue. But I was really chuffed to get that. Right.
You should get them appraised just before you do that. 'Cause you may be holding $1 million in your hand there for all you know. Seriously. I don't know.
Yo, Russell, when you do frame it up, right, make sure you don't use you protect it from the cardboard. You know, I don't know if you know, but just make sure that it doesn't touch cardboard and stuff like that. You use acid-free backing and stuff like that. It's really important.
Yeah, no, it's still in a safety wrapper and all that type of stuff. But
yeah,
I don't know much about comics. I was never really a comic fan, but I just saw I just went into I just couldn't believe he had it.
Yeah.
And
it's really good, man. It's really, really good.
I was talking to him, and I showed him a picture. Yeah, I showed him. He says, "Oh, I've actually got the original comic, right?" And he went out the back and he blew the bloody dust off the box and everything and brought it out. He says, "Oh, there you go." I went, "Oh, you're kidding me, right?" So I was a very happy man.
Yeah.
All right. So Russell, just go back to another comic shop or whatever. I don't know. Just go to a comic shop. Just ask them, what can you use to preserve the comics? Because if you just leave it exposed and stuff like that, it will turn yellow like really, really quickly, really, really badly. So just make sure you get the proper materials to kind of protect it and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I will. I'll find out because I haven't even taken it out back, so I don't know.
I wouldn't, man.
You know, I haven't even read it. You know, I'm sort of scared to. But,
Russell,
yeah,
just keep it
no,
in
me.
there.
I'll start.
If you want to read it, just go online or something, man. Don't open it.
Yeah. Yeah. So pretty happy about that. And
Yeah, definitely.
The other one I've got coming.
Yes. Pick up.
I found a guy that was selling a mint copy of the one for the prize. And the prize. This because that's why I've sort of started collecting ARH stuff, because I quite like that mythology, that type of theme. But that one.
Yep.
So I've got the original comic that was taken out of.
That one's awesome.
Yeah, I love that piece. It's, I just like the Conan stuff. Did anyone see that? That post on Facebook last week with Arnold Schwarzenegger being interviewed about his new movie Maggie?
No.
Yeah, I saw the movie.
A little bit.
Yeah. I saw. Given the tour.
Yeah.
Tour of his office. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. That was actually quite interesting because his bloody office is bigger than my house. He actually has the original models for the Predator, Terminator, the original endoskeleton they used in the movie. He's got that, right? All in his hallway. It was very interesting.
Yeah. And he's got like
and the studio gave him the original Conan.
The sword, yeah. He takes up the sword and shows it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And he picks it up like a toothpick. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was gonna say, it's like the bus.
Do yourself a favor. The video goes for about 20 minutes. You can watch it.
I'll let that look.
It's definitely fun to watch. I saw it. I like reshared it on my page on on Facebook. So if worse comes to worse and you have trouble finding it, just go on my thing, scroll down and find it. You know what I mean? But it's everywhere. It's not hard to find.
Yeah. Well, when you watch it, what I found great was the fact is that he was very honest in the interview. Right, yes. He freely admitted when he was younger than when he got into the movies, when he started doing Conan and he started doing Terminator and all that type of thing, that it was all about making money. All he wanted to do was be #1 in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right, and he was really brutally honest about that. But now he's saying he's picking and choosing movies. You know, he's not just doing action movies. He's doing like this movie Maggie. I haven't seen it, but yeah, no, it was just it was just an honest interview. It was very good.
My little dog here. I'm sorry. Yeah, little Doxy, miniature one, long-haired. She's like my. No, Molly, come on, no. I was gonna say that and I totally lost my train of thought. Maybe that's a good. But yeah, he does. Maggie, the movie Maggie. No, Molly, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Maggie. It's a good film, but know that it's a drama. It's not an action picture. Abigail Breslin makes Arnold look like a better actor than he may be, but he is good at it because he's a father in real life, so he can relate.
Yeah.
To the emotion. And, I mean, is it something you want to see over and over again? That's a personal taste thing. I couldn't say. But I would say that as a whole, it's better than average and definitely different from anything in terms of, I mean, it's kind of like melancholy, something like that. Like I'm talking about the Lars von Trier movie. It's kind of like that, I mean, it's really. It could have been a great episode of The Walking Dead, quite honestly, like a web.
Okay.
Except they've covered similar material, but nevertheless, it's worth seeing. It's already coming out on video here. I mean, it just got released Friday, and the video comes out July 7th or something like that.
I went.
I was in a very limited release over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely the most interesting thing he's done since he's finished up his role as a governor. I haven't been too impressed by the other stuff he's done.
No.
Pretty average kind of stuff. But Maggie, I saw the trailer for that, and I thought, well, that looks interesting. That I want to check it out. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe this is my opinion is influenced by my interest because I am interested in any movies that or anything to do with the devil and stuff like that. Not because I'm a devil worshipper. It's just I'm very that storyline interests me, right? And but one of Arnie's movies that I think is a little bit underrated is End of Days. I actually really enjoyed that movie.
Little bit.
That was a good one.
Right.
Same guy directed Outland. Same guy directed Outland that we were looking at earlier. What's he? Peter Ryan. That's him. Yeah.
I'm very impressed you know that. But yes.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. I thought it was a very underrated movie.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it.
Who does he play opposite? It's what's his name?
Gabriel Byrne.
Guy out of The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
Gabriel Byrne. That's him.
Yeah.
I think that's who he plays opposite. Yeah.
I think it may have been because of the guy that played the devil. I think he played it very well.
Yeah.
But obviously it's not going down to my taste.
No, it's a cool movie. I mean, it certainly was a chance. But back then, Arnold was trying to do things, but he was still trying to be an action hero. I think that really the height of his action hero career, personally, doesn't make me right. I'm just guessing. Was him at his height of because when that movie came out, it was just so huge. He didn't make another movie for 2 years after that.
Which movie was that?
No. After T2 came out, he wasn't in the next movie he made was The Last Action Hero. So the full 2 years after, and we all know The Last Action Hero didn't do as well, as Terminator 2.
No.
But
I think that's a great movie. I love it.
The Last Action Hero?
Yeah, watch that anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the buzz at the time when it came out was, it was Jurassic Park and Last Action Hero came out within a month or so of each other, and who was going to rule the box office that year. And Jurassic Park, I think, is pretty average Spielberg, but Last Action Hero didn't do so well in the time, but now I think it's held up pretty well. I like it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in years, but I remember, because Last Action Hero was a little tongue-in-cheek, isn't it? Like it kind of.
Yes, very tongue-in-cheek. Yes, Arnie poking fun at himself.
Yeah, it's definitely self-aware. Like I remember, I forgot the name of the guy who plays the villain.
Charles Dance.
Charles Dance, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
There's like one scene where he just looked into the camera and smiled, but it wasn't like a villain smile. It just looked like he was smiling, and they just clipped it right there, and that's where I got the idea. This is definitely more of at the time, like a wink, wink at the audience type of thing.
Yes, definitely. And I think a lot of people didn't appreciate that at the time. They wanted more T2 straight action rather than a bit of a parody and a bit of a wink at the audience, and
No, man. You guys tripping, man. Arnie's best movie is Junior, man.
I thought it was Kindergarten Cop.
No, man. Junior, man. Come on.
Junior. Wow.
What about the movie? Because Charlie, you said last week, Arnold, the Raw Deal. You said, yeah, sure. The first person you come to think of as a mobster is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Yeah. Arnold with his hair slicked back. In a suit, and just call him like Tony or some shit.
Yeah. Anthony.
Yeah.
As they say.
Yeah.
Anthony, come on. I don't know. Just make it up. I'm from Brooklyn, so I grew up with people that would talk like that. Instead of Anthony, they go Anthony. Anthony. Oh, are you kidding me? Saturday Night Fever had such an effect on the people of Brooklyn that for 10 years afterwards, you still had people walking around going, "Hey, Mark, where do they play disco?" Literally, I had a friend who was like a, Guido or Cuisine, as they called them, like a Tony Manero type, and, that John Travolta played, and he was like, and back then, in the 80s, it was, people were more into the John Hughes movies, and, there's more alternative music and stuff like that out, and, and this is one guy coming up to me just dressed in, like, two-tone pants, and, he looks like Leisure Suit Larry, and, and he's like, where they got girls, where they play disco, you know what I mean? And it's like, you're in the wrong neighborhood. You gotta go, this is Bay Ridge. We're not, the neighborhoods have changed, but it's like, that's really true. But here's the joke. Joke is on me, because that guy 2 years later got discovered by Robert De Niro, and now he's an actor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just got discovered on the street playing baseball. They used him in Bronx Tale to like a background extra, and then he still acts today. He's been on The Sopranos. He's in Analyze That, and I didn't even know this until I got on Facebook many years later. So it's not like I didn't keep in touch with this person after high school. I've just found and said, "Hey, did you know that so and so is an actor?" And I said, "Really?" And then it's like, and then it was like, oh, and so I looked him up, and then I was like, "Holy cow!" And then I wrote him a note, and he's like, "I'm so glad to hear from you." And he changed as a person, but I'll never forget. Where they girls and where they play disco. I'll never forget that. And by the by, this is in a car. It's not even like, it's like he's calling, it wasn't even like I saw him on the street. He's driving a car, and he's saying this out of the car window as he's driving. Hey, Mark, where are the girls at? You know, the whole thing, oh, you know what I mean? It's just real funny, you know? It's funny. And they all love dancing to that song, Native Love, without having any idea that they thought Divine was some sort of DJ. They had no idea that he was a big, fat TV guy. You know what I mean? It was Divine from those movies. I forgot the name of the director. I always laughed at that because I always thought to myself, I wonder if they knew that they were listening to a big man wearing a dress when they were singing Native Love in the car. I wonder, because I didn't even know back then. I wonder if they'd be so enthusiastic because they'd be going, dance, rock, feel the heat, blah blah blah. Because I mean, I heard this over and over again. It's like, you know, I mean, it's Brooklyn. It's a state of mind. You know what I mean? It's like White Castles. You know, and things of that nature. And so it's just, it's funny. I often wonder to myself, I wonder how they would react, because I don't think they would believe it. Because I wouldn't have believed it, because even I didn't know what it was. They would go, it's by Divine. You know what I mean? It's just funny. You know, I don't know. That's just my take on it.
All right. I'm going to have to run. Damn it, I can't believe I still managed to get on for about an hour and a half. Sweet.
Yeah, I think we might wrap it up, guys. It's getting a bit late over here in Australia.
Man.
It's 11.
What time do you start, Charlie? 8:30?
It's 9:32 a.m. over here in New York.
It's 11:30 at night over here. Shit, 3 hours you guys been talking.
But thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, no problem, Mark. And good to meet you, Rob, as well, mate.
Yeah, no problem. We'll be back on hopefully next week, and hopefully with no sound problems.
Yeah, no worries.
Nice to meet you all. I apologize. I still don't get all your names. Obviously, I know Charlie, and I know
Russell.
Well, Russell. Okay, Russell. It's a pleasure to meet you as well.
Yeah, you too.
Rob, and I mean all of you.
You
you know,
too.
and I know I'm sorry. I feel like a bad guy here, but the other gentleman who's always on every week, who's he's right now.
Just call me Denzel.
Denzel? Okay. I apologize. No, because you know what's funny? I knew you from Facebook before I realized that you were the same person on the show. So I've been Facebook friends with you for a long time, but I didn't make the connection until seeing the show. And so, I just want to say it's good to talk to you all, and thank you for having me on. I hope I didn't talk too much. I did tend to talk.
In the beginning.
All right, guys.
Sorry about that.
Okay, guys. Thanks.
Have a good one.
See you next time.
Yeah, see you guys. See you next week.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.